start with them, right? VP, they're the big dogs, right? They're the team that everybody has been watching. They suffered at the major, though, right? And what
did they?
Well, I mean, considering the fact that they were supposed to be the #1 team, I felt like they were a contender for top 3 at the major, but then, you know, Nightfall gets sick, they have to scrim without him, that sort of thing.
Yeah, straight up, they gave us some excuses. I understand. I'm not trying to drop them, like, you know, let them off the hook or anything, but I'll give them that mulligan. They come back in the second major with no excuses and own, we'll act like it never happened.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, like, much like Team Secret, they don't really need this. You know, even, like, this match, the major, they're going to TI. Like, that's what counts. And it's because they've been so dominant here in Eastern Europe. So, in a lot of ways, this series, it's like a tune-up for them, almost. They have no pressure. Maybe they'd prefer to play the group stage, you know, get some more experience in before they have the long winter before TI.
Maybe, but Virtus.pro did say that, when we were talking to DM, he said that they haven't been pulling out any strats whatsoever, but they might against Team Spirit. Does that tell you that Team Spirit they actually view as a credible threat to being able to take first place?
I mean, I imagine even though Kyle says they don't need this, I think there's a lot of pride on the line.
Yeah.
And as well as, like, to say, hey, we're #1, 2 seasons running. We're going to show up at the major. We're going to show up at TI. It sounds different if you show up second place.
That's true.
This time around.
And VP, there's a legacy to protect, right? These are the new guys carrying the banner. They don't want to, you know, you look at the...
Bless you.
I was looking at you.
I've never seen that one.
I was like, man, that was a dramatic pause right there.
I was like, wow.
Kyle's really going to lead into this one pretty hot.
Yeah, I just had to sneeze.
You good?
Yeah, fine. I'm sorry if I got you.
I can't tell anymore.
We're VP, they're explosive.
Okay.
Much like that sneeze,
Much like
you
that
know?
sneeze, yeah.
Yeah, they've got to protect the legacy. They're following the footsteps of people that have dominated Eastern Europe for years. So to lose here would be a bit of an embarrassment.
Yeah,
let's be real.
There is a bit of responsibility playing for Virtus.pro, and that is something that we actually got a chance to be able to talk to Kingslayer just about that fact, and I believe he says he agrees. There is a little bit of pressure there. Let's see. There is some pressure. I feel like some of the players would be like, no, there's no pressure. Not at all.
My favorite was that he's like, yeah, we're just a team of good players, so that makes us good. Team Spirit, on the other hand, they're stable. That was the exact word he used. Okay. They're just a stable CIS team. So it sounds like, okay, we respect them enough that we might have to whip out the strats, but we're better than them.
I feel like 10-1 is more than just stable, right, Kyle?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah? Nothing more?
Above average.
I mean, that if you're going to say something like that, then that means you hold the Eastern European depth of region, like, it's pretty shallow then at that case. And like, if anybody could just show up and, you know, be stable and be second, right?
Well, I think it's stable is also the way they draft, if you think about it. Just consistently, like, this Lion for save and the offlaner. Like, any game they were able to get Lion Timbersaw, they just picked it. They won. Like, pretty standard stuff. Didn't really feel like they were even pressured into getting out of their comfort zone. You know, in the Western Europe, you see constant ban trades, like new strats, new weird stuff forced to be pulled out. VP, they're just a machine. Like, they tinker a little bit with the train, but it's full steam ahead. Why did I say that? In my head, I was literally in Snowpiercer. That's what I think of when I think of VP. They're Snowpiercer.
VP is at the head of the train.
Yeah,
and you're saying that
The train keeps
I
going.
don't remember
okay?
the name of the
eternal
protagonist, but
engine.
you're saying Team Spirit is the one eating cockroaches. And...
No. The TV series. And it's more about the train itself is Snowpiercer.
Okay. Anybody who stands out to you from the side of Team Spirit, like who, if you had to pluck somebody from this roster and put them on like a Team Secret, Virtus.pro, like who would you go to?
It's Toronto Tokyo every time. I think he's the new upcoming mid laner. That you give him a little guidance, give him a little, steer, keep him on the tracks, going along with his metaphor here, that he's quite capable of being one of the best mid laners in the world, I think.
And I love you, Brian, for pointing out just that man, because we actually have an interview with Toronto Tokyo, and it turns out he's actually been playing for fun most of the time.
Look at the position of Toronto Tokyo here. He breaks us, but they drop the ward immediately. He's going to have to orb away. E-Blade, collapse going forward, gets the dunk off immediately.
I started playing Dota when I was in school, like 6 years ago. So I used to play like not much. I was studying, I was in university, and I was playing like for fun. Then I see my rank is very high. I started thinking about to go on pro scene like 2 years ago, and I wasn't saying anything to my family because I'm living in another city. So I keep it in secret. After I got something, I tell them.
Here as they go for the Ravage, and the follow up, the Luna, he sits out the damage, but goes to Key is.
Fun, and then turned out it was like, oh, damn, I'm pretty good at this. I may actually try and go pro, and something that he hid from his family until he won a little something. Now he wants to be able to qualify for TI. That's his goal. There's a polar bear standing in the way. Team. going to be seeing?
I said Storm Spirit, man. I want to see it for Toronto, Tokyo.
Same here. And some kind, I would say not Storm Spirit, but Blank Spirit for Toronto, Tokyo.
Okay.
I think Storm's the best.
It is.
And do you actually feel like Virtus.pro is going to be pulling out a strategy, whether it's game 1, game 2?
I don't think so.
Yeah, just unless they lose a game, it's like we don't really need to do much.
If they can get Lion Centaur or Lion Timber or Lion Axe
or Enchantress,
Lion Slardar, Enchantress Slardar, something like that, they're going to pick it. Like,
okay.
I think that a lot of teams, you see Liquid doing this in their pattern. I think that was unsuccessful. Secret's doing something similar. You open with the offlaner because the offlaner can't really ever lose its lane. Worst case, you go pull creeps. Everything will be fine, especially these heroes like Timber and Centaur that can backlane. It saves you your 1 and 2 positions for later in the draft. I expect them to do the same.
And it feels like there's potential for innovation then on the 5 positions. If you can figure out how to actually stop some of these offlaners and give them a harder time, we've seen some teams experiment a little bit. Secret tried to pick up a Winter Wyvern, not for laning phase, but it worked there. Witch Doctor's been popping up a little bit more.
The Willow and the AA are the two that came to mind that you didn't really see very start of the patch. AA more so now. There's really no better way to deal with these Centaurs at any stage of the game other than AA. The Eye Splash just makes that ridiculously high effective health pool just dwindle with buffing up everyone else on your team's damage, and then obviously they die if they drop below a certain percentage.
Yeah, and I like Willow a lot too, just because you offer such an insane team fight spell in the ultimate. The burst, also from the same ultimate, is quite nice, and Bramble is both good in lane, and then you have just so much control. An escape built in.
It's just a support that if you bring it along with 1 or 2 heroes will kill Centaur. And that's the biggest part. You have to have some way of like, okay, this guy's backlaning with a Vanguard. Something has to be done, and we immediately see the Ancient Apparition during the draft.
You have just so much control. An escape built in.
It's just a support that if you bring it along with 1 or 2 heroes will kill Centaur. And that's the biggest part. You have to have some way of like, okay, this guy's backlaning or backlaning with a Vanguard. Something has to be done, and we immediately see the Ancient Apparition during the draft.
Ancient Apparition on one side, Enchantress on the other, so you're already like 2 for 2 in that regard. You say the high tier supports.
You see from the camera feed as well, just a straight up dub. W is all that's needed, and that's actually an old draft. It's not real. Enchantress, Timber, the bans from Team Spirit. I really like that decision, VP.
We got
storm the puck.
Radiant team pick.
Hey, just so we don't. Okay.
Not quite. I mean, you're basically 2 for 2. It got banned, but Enchantress, that is.
Ban means it's even more important.
Indeed. Means they did all the prep and they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's just get rid of it entirely. I think save on these active 4s is just way too good. Lion AA is like an old school support combination, but we don't really see it too much anymore, but it was devastating to deal with back in the day. Every, was the old school LGD?
That sounds about right. If I'm thinking as a core player, like 2 supports, I don't want to play against Lion AA. Probably top of the charts there. Just your positioning, your survivability, it never really
10 seconds
you never feel safe on the map. You got that BKB, you got that SNY.
5 seconds
either way, you're still gonna get bursted if you get caught even slightly out of position.
Snapfire, Lion, and Abaddon are 3 different supports they have picked with the Mars before. They've picked Puck as well, but obviously that's banned. They instead go for a new flavor of Shadow Demon, which I actually like probably the most since we're talking about percentage-based damage.
Yep. Shadow Demon not only is a decent setup for the spear in lane, but it's also the combo breaker against the AA, which you desperately need somewhere in your draft.
Yeah, it's a very quick and confident Tiny from VP. I expect, based on the speed, that they were going to pick it no matter what once they saw the Mars.
Why Tiny into Mars, you think?
I'm not sure. I was wondering the same. I mean, you got a lot of magical burst. Mars, typically not a Vanguard or Hood buyer. You can, but it doesn't really fit with the hero's kit. Perhaps just because it's a flex. They could play this 1, 2, or 4.
I wouldn't be surprised by a casual Hood by the Mars. Goes well with the Soul Ring. Seen some Mars do that as long as they feel like they can buy some phase boots and participate in fights in a meaningful way without the Blink Dagger. Or the Yules. He's already got decent setup with the Shadow Demon. Will they draft him a little bit more ease of execution? If so, it'll enable him to go the more greedy defensive items.
10 seconds remaining.
But yeah, you don't feel good about it. It doesn't. The reason why it's different on
5
Mars than it is on
seconds
Axe and
remaining.
Centaur, I find myself getting asked this question a lot, is because Axe and Centaur, they tank creeps and they farm. Mars actually needs mana items. He needs
Radiant team
right-click
back.
items to buff up the
Virtus
God's Rebuke. You don't
Pro's turn
accelerate
to battle.
yourself as a Mars by buying a hood. You only make yourself able to be more durable.
Yeah. Centaur, you don't need anything other than double-edge spam to farm, and Hood allows you to do that more efficiently. Mars, you need damage. I think that a lot of players actually lose
10
out
seconds
on
remaining.
opportunities to have better performances because they don't go for the greedy, but I
seconds
think
remaining.
cost-effective items like Desolator on Mars. Like if you just have Blink Deso, you are an insane threat all game.
I actually did the Desolator build on Mars against an Enchantress because I
Team
was so
back.
annoyed with it. I'm like, this guy just walks into me and I can't kill him with an arena. And I think Tiny's kind of similar, where it feels really bad as Mars if there's a really beefy guy showing in lane and you can't feel fully confident they're going to get bursted by your arena. The Deso really does solve that. It buffs up the damage
10
from your
seconds
entire team, but the
remaining.
God's Rebuke freaking hurts, man.
Yeah.
5
Remember when we
seconds
saw, I think it got
remaining.
nerfed, but there was a core Mars. The style was you'd get, a damage item, a Deso, and then the Ags. And you just turn on Ags.
It's kind of a meme, I think. But in theory, if you're able to do it, it's just the fact that you usually need other items is the problem. Deso's like kind of cheap, so if you just need a little bit of damage follow-up, it's like, okay, I delayed my timings by 3,500, but the Deso also accelerates your timings because your God's Rebuke one-shots creep waves after you get it. But the Ags, it's just clunky, man. It feels really good later or super early, but then if you're like an Ags Deso Mars, don't they just kill you? It's kind of the problem.
Who knows? It's strange that it was prioritized above Axe and Centaur, though.
Radiant
Although
team
VP, you look at their bans, they think this is just a mid-Mars,
Mid-Mars.
which is something we've seen out of Toronto, Tokyo, but I'd be a little scared if that was the direction they were going. I'm not sold on it as a mid-hero, especially against Virtus.pro.
Doesn't that feel like, doesn't that work
10
exactly to what you were
seconds
talking about, though, Kyle? That you feel like these Mars aren't doing enough damage when they just go for this
5
very safe
seconds
blink
remaining.
BKB? Let's throw in a cheap damage item in there. The best way to do that is by putting them in a higher net worth priority.
Sure, but that's the trouble, is that I haven't seen them itemizing this way no matter how much farm they've been getting. And, I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those heroes that's
Virtus.pro's turn to
hard
pick.
for me to judge properly until I see the rest of the draft break out.
Okay, so we've been seeing this hero crop its face up a little bit, or pop its whatever it is. So we've seen it a lot, especially as a 5. And the reason why is I believe the popularity of
seconds remaining.
heroes such as Medusa, which I'm very curious if they're setting it up
5
already
seconds
for 4th
remaining.
pick. It just goes really well with these ranged safe laners. Not only does it serve as a frontliner for you, but it also serves as like a save if you ever get gone on in the laning stage. You can get them to peel off of your carry by walking next to your carry and cogsing. So
It's fun to watch, right? It's always been one of the more higher skill supports, just because you've got this one tool, this hook can be used from anywhere, pierces, interrupts even through BKB, and then later in the game when 4 steps, it's not about trapping people in cogs, it's about finding the right moment to cut somebody off and create a
force them back into your team and make the rest of their team not be able to help them.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and especially with the new shard, the jetpack, we've seen Ags rushed pick up, and then you just suddenly have 2 of everything.
Radiant
It's just a
team.
really impactful hero when played right. And
Any other carries that come to mind with Clockwerk, Drow Ranger, Troll, any of those other range heroes, or are you set on Medusa?
I don't think you can pick Drow here. You could last pick it. But yeah, you kind of just like, the problem is that Drow, you get like PL or like some gap closing carry.
But if I'm not mistaken, didn't Spirit play this Dusa last season against Virtus.pro in that deciding 3rd game? And I remember distinctly Yatoro picking up a rapier and dying outside of the Roche pit alone, and that was the game, and that was the series.
Sounds like you're harboring. That's a very specific memory of that
well, yeah,
game right there.
Tosh.0 redemption right here, right now, in this game 1. They get the morph, which can be a bit spooky if you end up getting disrupted. But, you know, looking at this draft, an E-Blade with the Vortex down is an insane amount of burst. He's going to go straight for this SD all game.
Let's be clear. This is like the best Morphling game I've seen in a while. At least because, yes, it's not amazing versus Dusa early, but Shadow Demon Clock do absolutely nothing to kill you, and it's one of the few carries that can still lane when Mars hits 6. So you just present this hero on the map that can do whatever the hell it wants in terms of survivability, and you have 3 playmakers. And so your team's going to run around killing people. You're not going to be a liability while they do so, and you might even be able to show up and contribute with just some spell casting. This seems like such a straightforward Morphling game. Dream pick here might even be a mid laner for all I guess it would have to be Carry Tiny at that point, so never mind. It's going to be Carry Morph.
Yeah.
They're even giving... They're assuming that this Mars will not be off lane. That matchup against Morph just sucks because most of your laning damage is physical. Morphling gets armor pretty quick. And then, like I said, you just don't threaten him at level 6. It's one. I can't really think of any other carry, maybe Lifestealer, but you can kind of poke him down early. There's just no stage of the lane that feels good against Morph. AA's been super annoying as a safe lane support nowadays.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind something like a Pugna.
For Team Spirit or Virtus.pro?
For Team Spirit. Like, in terms of laning against a Morphling, I think Viper's all right.
They are straight up assuming that's a mid-Mars.
Yep.
I see a lot of teams employing this idea where if that's an off-lane Mars and they pick a mid laner, we've got a great matchup. So we'll just assume that that's a mid-Mars.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll pick accordingly. It's for Virtus.pro's side, you're likely looking at an off-laner. You think it's a Medusa. I mean, you could pick a Viper yourself, but I think I overrate that hero. Probably some tower damage would be best. Not a terrible death profit game.
Turn to pick. Radiant
Maybe you'd like...
I should have said it. I should have said it.
Yeah. The damage reduction on a hero that abuses attacking multiple heroes, it's always going to be pretty solid.
You can even go Crimson. It's usually not a very exciting item, but against Medusa for the majority of the early stages, she usually goes for second item Ags, so your right-click damage is pretty limited for a while, and they don't have amazing damage output on Team Spirit already, making Underlord. Underlord's not good at making a lot of damage turn into little. He's good at making damage issues become irrecoverable. And that's
so a damage dealing offlaner that also can help the Deuce out in some way. What about like Beastmaster or something?
Is that hero an offlaner? Like, I actually don't know.
I wouldn't mind it. I think that's solid. I'd go for a casual Beastmaster.
Oh, wow. Everyone assumed it was going to be mid-Mars. Nope, Team Spirit. They're going to swerve it out. They go for the Invoker, and it looks like a good Invoker game to me.
It's a lot of damage. I think that's what they're going for. They have decent setup. I actually would like to see him go Exort in this game with how much disruption, cogs, Mars Spear, and just lack of mid-game damage you have. But the problem is then you might be running too greedy, and at that point, if you go Quas Wex, you might have some serious issues bringing down all 3 of these cores for VP. I just like what VP's got. I think the Morphling pick might have just been too good.
All right, too good of a Morphling game. Kyle, your last thoughts from over there?
I don't know. I'll tell you my thoughts.
Okay.
You have my thoughts.
All right.
You got this.
I mean, I have to like the Invoker, right? Are we going to be, we're going to see like a Quaswex Invoker, right? Go Spirit Vessel against a Morphling. Like, you said it yourself. If anybody's going to be carrying this team, it's going to be Toronto Tokyo,
yeah, if they get past like the 25-minute mark on even footing, I think they got this, the Medusa Morphling or the Medusa Invoker lineup. But I know the pace that VP's been setting. We talked about their lane dominance so far. The Morph's going to have such a free time, which means everyone else gets to do whatever they want. And I think that's going to lead to some pretty snowbally 15-25 minutes.
All right, if Team Spirit hopes to be able to take down the big dogs of Virtus.pro, it all starts with having a successful laning phase. Let's see if they can pull that with Odixel and Kyle.
Thank you very much, Cap. Yes, an exciting series here, of course. VP versus Team Spirit, the top 2 right now in the league. And Carl, what do you make of this? I've seen a GPK morph come through, and overall, it does look like a pretty nice morph game.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. And he should have a pretty nice matchup, too.
against an Invoker, you've got a 15 base damage advantage to start the laning phase. That is just unreal when players of this skill go up against one another. And I gotta say, Virtus.pro, their draft, relatively simple. I think they're gonna have a free farm Tiny as well, and then they're gonna hunt.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't sort of see them having any issues in the laning stage? Like, are there any sort of lane matchups that might be a bit tough for them?
Perhaps if you overstep, Clockwerk can be really annoying to deal with, especially for a hero like Underlord. But my concern is that I look at Spirit's lineup, and I just don't see easy ways for them to make plays, to find kills. I agree with what Brian and Cap are saying. I'd love to see an export Invoker, but if you do that, what's the play, right?
Sure,
it's just Sunstrike setups with Shadow Demon, and like that's how you're gonna kill things. It's just a lot of combo required.
Let's see here, around the runes.
Begins.
Team Spirit. Well, they are gonna force Nightfall away here from the top one, so Spirit. We'll start off with 3 bounties.
The cast point improvements, the only reason you can get that off used to be I don't think you could cast that while Clock was on top of you.
Well, let's see. I mean, obviously on this top lane, with the fact that they are running the GPK Morph, having this safe lane Tiny, are you a fan of this sort of dynamic when it's a good game, sort of have that carry hero in the mid,
oh yeah,
down in the hands of someone like GPK, and then get Nightfall to be that, that hero that's going to be secured safe lane farm with the build up for his first time, get that blink early on, and then he's just going to be looking to make plays.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I think if you can get away with it, it's way better to have your win condition in the mid lane.
Yeah.
And Tiny, all he needs is Blink Dagger level 10. So keep that in the safe lane. It's pretty impossible to really punish a Tiny, even if you fall behind the lane. Like a toss back is always threatened. This is a bit rough though. Save is not doing well. That could be a courier, but he actually ignores it completely.
So make sure he gets out of the range of Poshka. Poshka was able to get him with another battery, so I mean, still save.
He's just dead.
He has got boots as well himself. It's going to be close. Can he get enough hits in Poshka? One more. He's got it. Well, that's blocked there. Save just a little bit all over the place there with his movement down there.
Yeah, that was very weird. He just got effectively solo killed. He might know that there's a ward there. I think that was the main reason Maposhka was able to continue chasing in that.
Yeah.
But still, you don't expect that. You don't see it every day.
No. And I like this as well from Maposhka instigating the wind lay sent out as well. So now he's easily going to have that movement speed advantage.
Oof, big snake. That's so huge for Medusa because you just get full mana right off the bat. I like this build from Yotaro too. I see a lot of Medusas just going for the heavy stats, but yeah, looks like double Wraith into Treads, into Rush Manta. It's such a good item now on Deuce after the change. You have so much more uptime, more damage output from the illusions as well. It's the hero I think most impacted by the Manta change. In second place, perhaps this one right here, the Morphling.
Yeah.
I'd say Luna, but Luna I don't believe in as a hero. Needs a lot more than a Manta change.
And we're seeing this mid lane matchup. It's pretty much as you said. This is what you expect. I mean, this is maybe a bit more brutal than you'd expect. I was seeing 13-9 against the 6-0, or this.
Hey,
this is just
look at the damage. Click the heroes. Like, how are you supposed to outlast hit somebody that has, an extra 2 creeps where he can kill it and you can't? Like, that's an impossible creep for Invoker to last hit because Morph can kill it. He misses that one, unfortunately, for my point. But Invoker can't not.
It's hard. It's right. But this is something as well that you got to take into account. Like Spirit, they know the matchup. They would have known that this was going to happen.
Yeah,
right? They put this mid. Their game plan, for them, it doesn't matter that the Invoker has a tough lane because they picked this into this.
Maybe. Oh, I think he's maybe dead. DM. Oh. Wow.
He's actually going to get away, and he'll actually be Maposhka taken down. Same time, top lane collapse. He's going to get the spear back onto Nightfall.
Through the trees.
They actually got the damage. They'll take out his courier. Nightfall's got the Fairy Fire. There's a lot of poison stacking up and enough to bring Nightfall down. The kill done, Team Spirit. Collapse. He wants to get another. In fact, with the spear up, he might just be able to do so. Have to set him onto Kingslayer. Team Spirit there. With a straight up outplay. Take out the 2 of them.
Really well done. The only thing really going wrong for Spirit right now is that the mid lane's a disaster.
Sure. I mean, and that's, as I said, they knew that this was going to happen. So if you consider that, well, you
GPK is a bit of an X factor. It's the same when you play against a lot of these top tier guys. You know, suddenly a matchup that you thought was maybe a losing one, but bearable. Well, then it's Sumail, or it's GPK, or it's Thompson. You're like, damn. This is way more imbalanced than I thought it was.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they were expecting to get a little more out of the matchup, because it is indeed proving to be very tough for Toronto Tokyo. See again down bottom, very close to bringing down DM at this top lane. Really nice call as well, especially. But we'll see this play that Team Spirit make after getting Nightfall. You know, Collapse, knowing that there's still more work to be done. He may be sitting around on sub 100 HP, but he knows with a wraparound and a good spear, there's another kill to be had.
Yep. Really nice play. 1000 HP level 4 with the bracer. Nice stuff.
You see here, around the mid, Poshka.
This is really nice. You control Morph's runes, makes the Clockwerk's Invoker significantly stronger. You're always hitting the EMP.
We'll see, you know, I think we will see Toronto Tokyo now starting to catch up a little bit now that the levels are coming in. He's got a bit more to play with in the lane. We'll see how much of the gap he can close whilst it still remains in this 1v1 mid.
So far, all 3 lanes going VP's way. Even though they are a bit down in kills, CS is on point. And the concern I have is that it's one of those games where VP have no incentive to mix up the lanes until they have, you know, items online. Support's level 6, Tiny with a blink. I don't know if Spirit can afford to let them do that, but at the same time, how are you going to make rotations? It's going to have to be the Invoker TP to a side lane. You're not going to make a play on Morphling in this game. You just don't have the stunts.
Top, seeing Collapses, struggling a little bit to get in onto the creeps. Gap continuing to grow between him and Nightfall in this 2v2.
I think you saw that ward. Yeah, you see the toggle. Sentry just came in. They're going to find this.
Keeping your Toro on his toes here. Hard to make a move on him though. From the Poshka by his side. Top lane, Nightfall. They got the damage. Oh,
you didn't click that.
He didn't need to land it. He didn't need to land it. They get the kill.
I don't know why you can click it. It's not a boomerang. You know, there's no tracking component to a tree. But yeah, targeted ability.
You're welcome.
Collapse. Line up Kingslayer here. He's got the level 3 spear. And he's got the connect.
Wow.
Got the dap. It's just walking. And Nightfall. The combo. He's going to take it. Has to back off. And both teams just sort of finding opportunities to just walk down these poor supports.
Yeah. Surprise that up. I think we will get that stack.
You 30 mana, boy.
You see him mid.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Being aggressively here to try and play around the EMP. But honestly, with things said and done, this mid lane, you see it on the net worth. You know, Toronto Tokyo, he catches up. You know, this is why they picked this Invoker. He knows that even with the tough, you know, few waves that he's going to have on the early levels, once the game starts to pick up a bit and the Invoker's got his skills ready to go, Toronto Tokyo is easily able to start closing that gap on GPK's farm.
Yep. And he's doing good. Pushing the tower is really nice in this scenario too. He knows he can push GPK back to base, so we'll get some pressure off in the meantime. A big part of it, I think, though, was the Clockwerk controlling the runes. 2 of them have been denied to GPK. When you're a Bottle Rush Morphling, that's pretty devastating. You don't want to be forced to buy regen. Whereas Clockwerk's Invoker, you get free regen thanks to the Quas spam, and then later you're just burning mana consistently. Gets 3rd damage on tower while GPK's gone, not bad.
I was playing this really well in Toronto Tokyo. GPK gonna try and get in aggressive, but Toronto Tokyo more than okay. Bottle charges and Fairy Fire ready to go. Save does come across, but unlikely to get in on this. It's just gonna be around these 8-minute rune spawns. See what's there to be found, and it is down bot. So again, Team Spirit with a superior rune control.
Ooh. I didn't realize there was a bottle invoker. We don't see that very often at all. Right?
No, for sure. No, there's something a bit different. I guess this is just down to the fact that they know, as you said, they're going to prioritize just stopping the Morph getting his runes so much that, why not play with the benefit of using that regen for yourself?
That's true, and you don't have any other heroes in your team that are buying bottle. Maybe the clock would, but definitely want to have at least one core within such a valuable item.
Oh, very solid stuff from Team Spirit around this mid.
The typical passivity we've come to expect from the Eastern European region, though. Very methodical game on both sides. This is the first time we've really seen anybody switch lanes, and it's just for some pokes from the Willow. Doesn't need to help his Underlord too much anymore. DM is actually enormous. Early Hood, Arcanes, skipped the Soul Ring. He had such a good time. He'll have a Hood finish momentarily, and then he just straight up doesn't die. Like he's pressuring the Medusa. Look at the amount.
Look at the setup of Toronto Tokyo. Coming out to take him down, and Posco to push back the Dark Willow here with the Cogs. They've got the Cold Snap and the MP down to GPK. GPK, he's out of mana. They're running him down. Kingslayer and Safe trying to help out. He will not be able to turn around with that final bit of burst of mana, but still keeps the distance. Doesn't want to get in onto Mirror. Save. Actually taking a lot of damage into the neutral as well. Save's gone. Tries to dive in to push them back, but ends up losing his life friend. Time's been brought now. The collapse to swing across from the top lane. Kingslayer, he's not getting out either. As Team Spirit, they've got the numbers. They're able to turn things around. Set Toronto Tokyo up for a double kill. As this mid lane is just going better to better.
I mean, why did they stick around? And that was wild. Like, you had 3 heroes, VP, or Spirit rather, like they brought 4. And not just that, you're trying to like dive with a Willow and an AA. Like, Morphling doesn't have the damage to close kills here, and Invoker Clock alone provide more than enough damage and disruption. Very odd maneuver there, but it does buy some space. Top lane was pushed in by Nightfall, now he TPs, and they'll probably get a free tier 1 out of this. Just stand behind DM, let him hit it. Has the Hood. He's not really a target for anybody anymore. But Deuce will do the same.
Yep.
The old switcheroo.
Straight up to the top half. And so far, a 6-2 1k lead. You are looking at this mid area. They're playing around their Invoker very nicely. And as you sort of saying on the panel, it's this game for Spirit. It's a lot on how much Toronto Tokyo can do. And so far, these early signs looking pretty strong and solid for their idea of what they're going to achieve around it.
Yeah, and all's well that ends well. You've got a Medusa Invoker top the net worth charts. No pressure at all on Yatoro. This is fine with me if you're pure Spirit. Trading Tiny Farm for Medusa, you'll do that all day.
They're not quite able to get in range there for a setup. As VP play it safe.
Players here.
Nice sentry. Pressure ward taken out. Really well done.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lovely the light, of course, found here for VP. The trinket will he stay in the hands of either GPK or Nightfall.
6 wards destroyed already. Yeah, he got the one bottom in the lane as well earlier on, which used to just be like, oh, that's cute, but now as a support, it's so rewarding. Not just the psychological factors, the limitation of the vision, but the golden XP, man. And here's the Shadow Demon effect.
Yeah, talk about golden XP, Yatoro. Got a lot to clean up here. Very nice for him.
Radiant's top tower.
And with the lack of vision of Spirit, being able to have that wall control, very hard for VP to make any sort of aggressive move into the triangle of Spirit. So not even as we're seeing a huge rush to take down the stacks, Yatoro can take him as he wishes.
Are fortified.
See, the top wave was pinged out by Toronto Tokyo. Not sure why. Nice movement from the Willow here, just to scout the stack, see what's going on.
Well, what can they do about it? I see that it's happening, but can VP really put something together over it? I don't think they can right now.
It's more about the threat. So many heroes aren't showing.
And they got a hook shot save. Able to get himself into the shadow realm. Oh, not quite catching him, so Save will manage to get out of there. I'll turn their attention over towards DM, but DM's got the rift going. They won't have the damage to take DM out before he's able to get safely out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think you take that, though. There's nothing being done on the map from VP, right? Bottom lane's just sitting there. So they had 4 or 5 heroes in the vicinity, but they're forced to just run away. The Dusa finishes the stack, almost. They're just going to stack it one more time, so That works. He'll get 2 free waves
So
in the
much
meantime.
farm there for Yatoro, prepared perfectly. Full vessel now done onto Toronto, Tokyo, so stepping up the ability to make these moves, make these plays. VP, they're still trying to find that hit here.
Yeah, blink on Tiny, right? Yeah, this is going to be their first move.
So who do you jump? Let's set up here, they'll go for the backlines, go for the support, to be able to blow a mirror. Arena's down, trying the counter play, Fear comes out, starting to push back collapse, but GPK's under the tower. With the hookshot control as well, GPK trying to run. As he's got to get out of it, Save's taken out. They have lost collapse, a 2 down on Spirit. Combo comes in onto Toronto, Tokyo, it's not enough to kill it. A VP, they'll take 2, only losing 1 themselves. Coming out on top there of that movement.
Yeah, that's a blink reveal, though. I think you're fine with this if you're Spirit.
Well, you're not losing your big calls.
Yeah, and VP, it's going to be tough for them to take these fights. GPK is not really a heavy damage dealer just yet. Underlord, sure, you're farmed, but like, how do these fights work for them? Like, they can get that first pick off, but Spirit, they have the Disruption, they've got the Purge, the Clock Hook, the Mars Arena, Medusa ult. This is a pretty tough team to run at.
Absolutely, Yatoro is going to hit these excellent timings. Manta style after this stack's pretty much going to be done here at 14 minutes in. Ridiculously fast farm here from Yatoro's due to this game.
Say ridiculously?
Ridiculously.
Ridiculously fast. No, you do have a point. And the one danger is that, as we've discussed, if you check out the Mars, he's got, I believe, a Soul Ring. He was going for a hood.
He's trying to get
hood in a pipe. So Underlord, sure, going the same items, but he's farming with just Q spam. Mars really likes to scale a bit better, and he won't be able to do so. It's going to be Medusa versus the world. VP will have a little more help just because this offlaner is going to be so beefy, and later in the game, the minus, it's the damage reduction, right? It actually like removes an item from Medusa in theory. Like so much damage disappears when you walk into range of that Underlord.
Dire structures are fortified.
It's alright. I mean, we're seeing big confidence from him. He gets tossed back, but he's able to get the stone gaze off when the business starts to back off. Jumping for the tiny, but the combo's down, the arena's out, the fear does come into play. Giving Nightfall a little bit of safety. The pushback Spirit. Neither side actually ending up losing anyone. Both are able to disengage. I mean, a fantastic fear there from the Willow. Otherwise, Nightfall would have been dead for sure in the arena. But able to save it.
Yeah, you can see they just, I talked about the lack of stuns on Spirit. Well, VP, they really don't have that many either. It's stand in the pit, stand in the brambles, sure. But even with a great toss back, that's not enough to land a kill. Yatoro thought about going back to base. He was like, wait, I've got enough for a snake. I'll just go farm woods. That's exactly what he does. Big stack.
Just constant income here for Yatoro. Going to be going for that build that we are seeing favored nowadays on the Deuce of the Manta straight into the Ags.
And this is the net worth gap. It's straight up just because Yatoro can farm Ancients, and I believe as we watch Kingslayer do this, or Nightfall do the same, that's the first Ancient that VP have killed. The first camp. Yatoro, how many has he cleared? 6, 7?
Insane amount.
28%. Wow. Don't know the exact numbers, but stats don't lie.
And in this sort of game, are you okay with this as Team Spirit to have that much wealth on the Medusa? Because it's a pretty good Medusa game, or how are you feeling at this stage, you think, of your Spirit?
Hard to say, really. It's going to come down to execution. I don't think either side has a massive draft or
under attack.
Team fight advantage. It's just going to come down to how well you click your buttons. The area control from Spirit is better, but VP have significantly more burst and raw spell damage. That Spirit can certainly disrupt their combinations.
But who are you bursting if you're VP? Because like we saw that last fight, the way it started, it looked pretty ideal, right? Yeah. You're tossing in the Deucer. You said they couldn't actually burst or control her before she's able to pop the ult and walk away. I mean, so I guess the Deucer's not really the target.
It's the SD and the Invoker. I like DM too. He gets the pipe, but he'll go for the Atos next to add a little bit of extra control. That's been their issue so far. That hard lockdown makes it so the rest of their spells will just land.
So coming in aggressive with the wraparound, looking towards Maposhka. Poshka's going to get some backup. The team's coming in to collapse, lay down the arena's trap save. Over to the side, EMP comes down onto GPK and DM taking out a lot of their mana. DM is going to try for the regen. They've got the damage to take him out in time. Oh, it's close. They don't have enough. DM able to reset there for him and GPK.
That is sick. That's exactly what they wanted to do. They forced the buyback on Mapochka. Hook just out of range. On target, but falls short.
I did have to buy back for this Mapochka. Not able to get anything going.
It collapsed once he uses Arena. Like, I don't know. That was a bit awkward. And it's the trouble. I'm telling you, man, I hate this build on Mars.
Well, you want to see a blink or a Yules?
Yeah, a blink, a Yules, or damage. Because at least damage, it eventually pays for itself because you're now clearing creep waves and a jungle camp at the same time it used to take you just to get the creep wave. But and you're more of a threat. Blink Yules, that gives you catch. You can actually threaten one of these big VP cores. The Hood is just like, well, I missed my Arena, so that was my hero. You know, I'm done for now.
Sure, and it is a build that sort of resigns you to this level of farm, right? You're never going to see this Mars jump up the charts.
Exactly.
He's pretty much saying, you know what, it's all on you, Dusa.
Yeah, and if you check out Invoker, Toronto, Tokyo, a similar idea. He'll go back for the Midas. I actually really like this, because he went for a very aggressive build early on. Fully going Wex, Vessel. You need to have something, because otherwise, if you look at his net worth, he'll fall down to where the Mars is residing at a point. And you'll have this farm Medusa, but VP will have like 3 super fat cores and an AA that prevents a mistake from ever being viable. Medusa.
See that jump in immediately caught out on a tornado. So they can still catch Mirror. They've got the root down. They're in on top of the Shadow Demon. We're actually going to see an aggressive hook shot in as Mapochka trying to break the fight up, but Mirror's already gone, and Mapochka, he's going to die for his efforts here as well. 2 supports taken down.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
I'm dead.
Well, they're always going to be able to get the supports. The cores, that'll be the trouble, but I do like the way they're playing. Really nice Dragonlance build as well. I think that's always a good decision when you're playing against a Clock and an SD. You want to make it harder and harder for them to actually get appropriate spell usage, and in addition, makes it simple for him to hit in the pit, in the brambles. All the big AoE control of DM positioning is going to be key for this Virtus.pro side. And they get a tier 2 at just 20 minutes and change.
They do. Some fast stuff here with the push of GPK's Morph. 7-7, 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Very much a game where, as you say, it's sort of the steady pace that we've come to expect. And definitely when we're seeing sort of a matchup between these 2 teams here at the top of the league. Some very sort of safe and calculated dodge coming out for them. Tora, he's actually going to look to the opportunity of starting to do the Roshan here with Collapse.
I don't know how much of a timing is this.
Can they get away with this? I mean, it's obviously a bit of a difficult one. If VP do come across, they will have a fight to bring. But as we're seeing, Spirit, they've got a lot of combo breaking. They have the ads on Dusa, the Stone Gaze as well. Toronto, Tokyo, and Mapochka, they're ready to really disrupt the fight if he gets brought to them. And it looks like VP...
They got no idea.
They've not caught wind of the fact that Spirit have been able to sneak in here with the DD Medusa, and this is going to be a free Roshan for Spirit. This is huge.
Oh, yeah. No, it's even huge. That DD. I can hear Nahaz, his sigh of frustration in my ears. Why does DD work on Roshan?
Because that never happens without that rule.
No. Maybe they make that same play, but you gotta figure, like, AA Blast was thrown out, right? Like, that's gonna find them in time. Instead, they clear it, and, the win condition for Spirit, very obvious. It is all about the Dusa. What's Tiny? Tiny's got Blink Echo, so going for more of the burst style. Yeah, BKB next. Can we check out all the items to see if there's anything coming up anytime soon? But Team Spirit, they seem pretty comfortable going for the late game. The Ags timing so that they can look to take fights also helps the farm speed. Toronto with the Midas. VP, they went for fights. Manta Morph, Blink Echo, like, they're in theory ready to go. But how do you go?
It is down the line going to get to that point of how do you take this Medusa 100-0? I do like what they're doing. I think they have to go this way. They need some sort of crazy outworldish damage. GPK is going to be going for the Axe next, so they can do the Morph Willow. And that in itself, that absolutely could provide the late game damage potential to really even threaten the Medusa if they can get the Morph Willow online.
It's like watching 2 old Roman legions performing attrition warfare. You can see DM just pretty much ditched. As soon as he saw enemy heroes, he's like, oh, I'm just going to try to channel my ultimate. Wasn't able to do so. Just gets out. But neither squad can take a fight that isn't on their perfect terms. 5-on-5, probably not even in the cards. Spirit, they invite your aggression. VP, pretty hesitant to give them what they want
Dire's
here.
middle tower is
And to
under
your point,
attack.
yeah, Ags
Dire's
with
middle
Willow,
tower
it's
has
never
fallen.
it's never bad. And it will give them the ability to outrange the Dusa.
Yeah.
They'll have all this control and muddle fighting around the pit and then raining in damage. The Trebuchet is firing.
I mean, they're really going to need it all. Yatoro's Medusa is so massive, so early on, you know, just 23 minutes in. And for the Dusa to be where they are right now is, you know, for Team Spirit, I think they're going to be very happy with this early game. They haven't been run over whatsoever.
Radiant's middle tower
They've gotten
is
away
under
with
attack.
it big time. You know, Yatoro is just so far ahead of anyone else in the game right now.
Radiant structures
I think
are
you're pretty
fortified.
satisfied. Like, I came in expecting VP as a pretty heavy
Radiant's
favorite, but
middle
so
tower
far,
is under attack.
pretty even game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Gonna try with some poke it onto GPDK. Look at the spear, have they got the damage? Excellent fear yet again from Save. Push back the three of them. You see, yeah, with the rift, they're gonna back out of this. They don't want to take this fight. Spirit coming in full force. VP immediately will get themselves out of there off the back of DM.
The thing is, Tiny's been. I keep looking at the minimap as these sorts of plays happen. It's always Nightfall who's farming off by himself. But is that a thing? He has the shard. That was early, just to ensure he could permanent tree grab for farming speed. But is this a thing? Tiny carry?
Early in the league, I think when we started the season, Brian, when he got here, he was on about this. He tried it out and he said, you know what? With the new shard, carry Tiny, it could work. Like with the way that Tiny goes down, you know, you've got this insane amount of armor with the permanent tree grab. There's talents for it as well. Because like, there is potential there. There is potential to be quite the late game carry.
Well, we're gonna find. I mean, he's been the one farming ancients.
Yeah.
He's the one split pushing, and he's in spitting distance of GPK on the Morphling. So definitely gonna end up as one of this like 3 core versus 1 core setups. But again, then that minus on Invoker, I'm telling you, it's gonna pay dividends. This game is not ending anytime soon.
Dire's top tower is
This is
under
what we
attack.
want to see. We're going to see this really scale up, and if anything, you know, it's sure it's a 1K lead for VP. I think that the biggest challenge is definitely on the shoulders of VP to see whether they can weather the fights against this Medusa.
Oh, so far, it's they've had to just call a cab. They're not willing to engage in any sort of bar fight. They're getting out well before last call. I like the build, yeah. You're going for Lotus next. Just beef it up.
Radiant are scanning.
Actually, what's the Lotus for? Do they have a 4-staff on somebody?
Well, I think you just
No.
You're looking to just Lotus GPK.
Sure, but
You want to protect this morph.
you don't have BKB. Oh, and you have no 4-staff. So Clockwerk of Maposhka, yeah, he might be a 5 position, but he's effectively an auto kill if he catches the Underlord or a support.
See Kingslayer working towards
Okay,
this. Here, like,
somebody's the
pretty-
responsible one.
Dire are scanning.
I mean, there's so many items that feel good on DM. As, you know, as an Underlord, you don't really want a 4-staff as one of your 6. But as you say, definitely. Question is whether it's going to be enough just having it on the AA. There's also the option down the line for the Dragon Lance to turn into a Hurricane Pipe. Of course, that's probably not going to happen anytime soon because it's not a very smart usage of gold on the morph. So many other items that GPK wants to be getting done. And the Ags, very close to being there. It's going to be there in 500 gold.
Just crazy how, you know, one of the cooler things about the DPC and the format, they think this is real, but they're gonna find out. Nope. How the regional metas and gameplay sort of take on their own unique identities. Eastern Europe is so much slower than Western Europe, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just far more methodical. These teams are not, they're playing mistake-free when possible.
Yeah.
You know, you compare that to the OG Nigma Liquid playstyle. That's chaos.
New treasures.
Quite a nice one here for Yatoro. I think that's one of the ones he loved to find. He
Dire's
gets
top
the
tower
Paladin
is under
sword.
attack.
So now for Yatoro's now got the Paladin sword. He's now got the full Skadi. It's just looking scarier and scarier.
We'll see. VP, like, they've actually eked out a little bit of a net worth lead. This is my big concern. I like the Solar Crest as a pickup, but Mars with just a pipe is really going to be a negligible source of damage later on in this game. It's going to be Yatoro versus the world. they'll have a solar, pop that on him, the alacrity.
And he's gonna have a lot of buffs.
Make illusions of him with the Shadow Demon. You can even see Mira playing with the illusion as if it's a hero, just continuing to pressure this top lane. There's the Ags, so the Willow damage will start to come out. Nightfall with the BKB.
Is under attack.
Top net worth on his team, truly a carry tiny.
Farming the wave him of Imposter. Got the lead in onto him. The spear connections well straight into the tree. Nightfall, he's going to get taken out. Farming a little too aggressively on the front, and nothing that the rest of VP could do to keep him safe once he gets caught by that combo.
Tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
See DM. He's going to prepare here for the D push around the tier 2, but they are going to have to defend without their carry now.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I'm dead. Coming in with the wraparound. Toronto, Tokyo, and Yutora. They're setting him behind Collapse. He's got the arena. He's going to start stepping in. He has the art already. If he sees the chance to lock him down, TM. He's taking full damage here from Yutora. The fear will push him out. The BKB's out for Toronto, Tokyo. If they continue to focus in onto TM, TM will get that pin up, but TM won't fall. Yutora takes down another. So an aggressive zip in from GPK, looking for the waveform overlords. Collapse, the arena's down, Collapse will fall. Tora continue to pummel into both GPK and Save. The freeze as well for the Stone Gates, as GPK's got to be careful. If they've lost Save, GPK having to reset and get his way back to the fountain. We are seeing just the struggles of trying to do anything and trying to fight anywhere near Yutora.
And you got to be really careful as well as GPK. He's playing against Vessel and Scotty. That's a lot of regen reduction. So the unkillable factor of this Morphling not really existing. You don't do enough damage yet. Is this Dire side? Yatoro is just, I mean, how does he even have it? Collapse just runs in. That's the initiation. There's a BKB to Invoker, and even though DM is incredibly tanky, you know, nobody can survive when they're just locked in place for this long.
Now we see GPK trying to go to work with the damage, but the BKB is out from Toronto, Tokyo, and at this stage, he doesn't really pose that physical threat that's going to be able to tear down these BKB heroes. As we see here, just no chance fighting against Yutora here. They have to back off, they have to escape. They are going to need some sort of perfect execution, really, VP. It's a perfect team fight to ever threaten the Medusa. I don't know how they do it.
Radiant are scanning.
You and me both, Owen. And Maposhka's played a great game, too. This Clockwerk, you know, it's underpicked, perhaps, the way we've seen it played in this TPC. Every hook seems to lead to a kill. Always there with the cogs. Doesn't matter which hero on VP you find. If they're isolated for long enough and Yatoro's able to beat into them, that's going to be a kill. Miroslav always trying to get the defensive disrupts off there. Actually more valuable, you know, they kind of invite aggression onto the Medusa, because if you can disrupt Save, you just give him a free manta, more than a manta actually, of damage. Those illusions hurt. And as Fogged said so eloquently the other day, 14 seconds! They last for 14 seconds! He's very shocked.
Here's what I'm making sure is that Yutora is also the one getting the gold for some of the war taken down, so just continuing to do everything to propel the Medusa's farm at all costs. I mean, getting a few hundred away from having a full Daedalus. VP, they need a big hit, they need a big move. But now we got the combo. If they just got the challenge, but actually have to get the self-disruption. They won't even be able to kill him straight away. Mira is still alive, and now VP after that initial burst, they've got to back off, but the arena's down. GTM is starting to take him out again. They have to run, they have to get out of it, but they're getting split apart. He did. He stopped it. They want to try and take this fight. They won't bring down Collapse. GPK getting it aggressive onto Yutora. Yutora starting to run low on the mana. He's going to get another snake on for Yutora. He's got enough mana here for the mana shields. Miposhka trying to get in to help out. The supports are falling. Can they bring down Yutora? He's getting on. They'll do it. They'll take down the Medusa. VP with a big brain call to stick around and push on as they'll get on top of this team fight. And they're not done yet. It's out to control Toronto, Tokyo. Waveform in. Toronto, Tokyo is out for the Ghost War, but Mira will be left behind. VP just, I mean, how on earth they managed to see that opportunity there. An incredibly smart call to say, you know what, we can take this fight after they've struggled so many times, and they were absolutely right.
So I don't know how that interacted, but somehow Kingslayer Nightfall got out of the Mars Arena with that offensive Yules from somebody on the side of Spirit. that kept him alive, may have influenced DM's decision to stay there because suddenly the Tiny was guaranteed to live for that little bit longer. But really, I think Spirit overcommitting on the defensive abilities. They popped Dusa ulti and Arena. The Dusa wasn't really able to be used. They'd already disengaged. You got to be closer and more in danger. And now all of a sudden, into the pit.
Boom, there they go. They've got a hook shot. They can look for some aggressive sort of disruption here. Try and stop VP. Sick collapse. Gonna get in on this. DM gonna get caught by the sunstrike. Roshan is down. They'll be able to pick it all up here. VP and already looking for action. Save. He's on top of Mirror. Mirror can be protected by the pipe. Arena did not save. He'll die for this. The space was made. VP able to take everything away from Roshan this time round.
Hook coming in.
Okay. Pretty dead. GPK, he's not going to go down anytime soon with both the Aegis and the cheese on him. Also close to having the money for the BKB.
He's taking the shard. Morphling? Maybe? He's thinking about it.
He's holding on.
Should I be generous?
Yeah, I'll take it. Gonna buff up his game to the maximum.
It's pretty good. Especially in a game like this. You can expect longer fights, so more adaptives, more damage, longer stun. Oh, that's cool. Wait, he doesn't have it. He's thinking about it. Might go the Daedalus. I actually think
he's changing because he got the Chrysalis and he's you know what, I need a BKB.
I don't remember who. We were talking to somebody, weren't we? It was a BSJ, it was an Owie. Like, this cold-blooded shard for Dusa is just OP in some people's eyes because you get the free snake, but it's also an ag snake, so it'll turn people to stone, interrupt, give back tons of mana, and it's a massive amount of damage. And there's so much single target, you can almost guarantee that it's gonna proc a couple times in a fight. Goes to the BKB.
I was gonna say, do you think that is necessary this game? You know, you're playing Medusa, you know, normally as a Medusa you don't really want to have to buy the BKB, but this game he feels it is necessary.
I'm honestly not a huge fan. I think that while the magic damage threat is pretty high, you need to deal more damage. Like, that's going to be your issue. Not how long can I survive, but am I actually enough to kill this Underlord and Tiny? And without a Daedalus, I'm not sure he's right for that. We'll see. There's a lot of damage amplification on his side, the Solar, the Alacrity. Perhaps that'll be enough. But they're going for even more healing reduction. Now with the Shivas, this is a tough game. I think you want to target Morphling when possible. The Aegis is frustrating, but you have so much anti-regen that the Morph doesn't really have Morph available.
T-Spirit's trying to take a fight into this Aegis and cheese. Toro's stepping up, Toronto trying to get out with the BKB. He's got to run. GPK being fully focused here by the Scardy Dusa. GPK, can he keep out of reach? He can. They've got the stone controller, hold back. Medusa into the fear as well, pushing back. Toronto Tokyo, defensive destruction will come out in time to break the combo from VP. GPK will fall the want. Taking out Toronto Tokyo, can they do anything about Yatoro? Nightfall stepping in with the BKB himself, he's in on top of Yatoro, who just have enough mana to get the Stone Gaze off. As he pops that and the BKB's out to the side, doesn't actually have enough mana to TP out himself, so he's just got to run for now. Won't catch Mirror, Mirror gets away, Aposhka will catch him though. Dust comes in from Kingslayer. VP. I find the two of them, Team Spirit, they try and bring some action, bring a team fight towards VP, but they do not come out on top of it.
No, they do not. Now the map has gotten very spooky to play. That's going to be a Scotty on GPK, finished in full. I see, there you go. The BKB on Dusa, right? What does that accomplish? I think he gets away even without it, just by popping Stone Gaze, and his damage output just is not scary. Could be a shard and nearly a Daedalus. Feel he may come to regret that purchase, but we shall see. Halberd picked up on DM, further damage reduction. Really like the way he's played this game so far, and you saw that was a Moon Shard on the Tiny, so
oh yeah,
he is a carry.
I mean, this is the perfect carry build. I mean, if you're going to do safe lane Tiny, Nightfall he's absolutely nailing it here. And he's keeping up in the scale. You see now, only slightly behind that of the Morph and the Deuce of this game with as much farm as Nightfall's been able to pick up. Poshka. Gonna be able to break the combo with the Glimmer, but Tokyo gets jumped off to the side.
Again.
That's what the BKB and run there, nearly getting taken out instead there.
They've done a really good job, mostly from Nightfall, just finding Invoker the start of every fight. If he isn't able to... Oh, wait, what?
Line him safe. He's caught him. Destroyed Tokyo dead.
Just
Caught outside of the base. 70 seconds, no. Invoker, 500 or so gold short of a buyback. Spirit, they're going to have to try and hold us for.
And it's off.
I don't know. If you can't. I mean, you have a Medusa.
We've got the Medusa.
Radiant structures.
Getting aggressive. Marina can pull up as well. They're looking to try and burst GPK. The BKB's out. You're they're trying to keep him far enough away from DM. GPK is able to zip off the entire. With the waveform, GPK will get taken out. Save will be left
Things would
behind.
catch up with me. God, I hate that.
The rest of VP will be able to back off. Successful defense, though, of course, from Spirit. A few casualties here and there on the supports, but the pushback VP were very close to catching GPK. There was sort of stone gaze, be a bit of a nuisance for DM, stopping him from really being able to close in onto the range of the morph to take GPK out. But of course, as it was GPK, able to get that waveform off in time to get back into the embrace of DM.
I don't think they're going to have any plans on leaving enemy side and watch this engagement. Another really good hook from Aposhka, you can see. Tries to get the cogs, but she doesn't even have a shot. Looks like he got chain stunned down, but forces Morph into that bad position. But DM, that's what, the 5th, 6th time we've seen him hop in, be the getaway driver?
I mean, yeah, his riffs have been pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
He's either taken them out, of course, in that one situation, knowing to sort of cancel the ride and stick around.
That was actually good point. That was a great play in retrospect. Like, the fact that they won that fight, this is only cancel, has a really good eye on or a feel for the way these fights are going. Anytime it looks like the risk is going to outweigh the potential reward, just immediately whoop.
Absolutely. I don't think, I can't sort of remember the last time I've seen an Underlord just get it right every single time. We're never seeing him cast it unnecessarily. It's always absolutely when they need it, or when he knows that there's a chance to turn around. He will put a stop to it. So some top stuff here from DM.
You don't see good cancels very often at all, because it reveals that the team is like thinking about backing, and they're like, no, we're gonna fight. That typically doesn't work out. But hang on.
He's getting jumped. He's just out of time in the ice block, but it doesn't matter. The physical damage is there with the tree. Another time here where Toronto Tokyo getting jumped by Nightfall. Now with the zip over towards Collapse, waveform in. Collapse trying to run. They've got the control. Spirit, they've got to bail on him. They've got to leave Collapse behind. We are absolutely seeing a Nightfall. He's absolutely doing his part every time. Getting this jump onto the Invoker. Just catching Toronto Tokyo by surprise multiple times here in this mid to late game.
Now it's a leveler. He's going to shred these buildings. No glyph.
Quite aggressively here. Stone gaze off. He can be as well, but he's Raveler will be able to step out and time up the ice block, but Nightfall is staying on top of him. Yatoro, he needs help, but he needs it now. He's out of battle, he's out of HP. Now Yatoro, gone, VP, they've broken them down. Four dead, no buybacks. There's a cooler. It's over. VP. Oh yeah, DM rightfully hyped up off the back of that performance. Very well played by Inniscan at the end of the day. The real sort of solid block that the team was able to execute around. And Spirit, they built things up. And Yatoro's do so in a great position, but the late game calls, they just broke them. Here, VP coming out with some fantastic moves.
You can see the laughter. Yeah. They're just like, hey, did we just kill them all? Yeah, we did. All right, great job, guys. I guess that.
A bubble from the void.
Okay, I mean, the way it went. I was playing with Fog the other day. He's so good. His shackles stunned 3 people.
Dying. We'll see if Save's able to step up to that level. And so far, yeah, this top lane definitely putting some heavy pressure onto your Toro.
And in mid lane, look at that. That's just GPK disgusting.
I mean, and the thing is about this matchup, I mean, I don't know if Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to recover a sort of, you know, start to threaten the Morph as the levels come in as easy as he was able to on the Invoker. You know, sure, your abilities are nice on the Void Spirit, but against the Morph, I don't think they hit quite as hard as when you get to like the Tornado EMP early on. In terms of just disrupting what the Morph's trying to do in the middle. Bottom lane, collapse a mirror, the time getting it up to Nightfall. So the way that things that lanes are going, Spirit definitely done a good job of causing issues for Nightfall in this laning stage.
It's just crazy to me. Like, this Axe and Morph, they're doing so well. They've been 36 creeps they've been able to kill so far this game. They're sitting at 29 and 28. That is pretty nuts. And this is the lasting legacy, I'd say, from VP. Ever since that change to denies in that they provided less XP to enemies, that was really the catalyst for that original VP roster to start dominating people. And ever since then, no matter who's playing on this team, they always seem to crush their lanes. And right now, a couple deaths on Tiny, sure, but they're ahead in CS in all 3. And that Vanguard Axe, like, he's gonna force the Wraith King to jungle real quick. That is that's an incredibly fast timing. Vit booster and just 200 gold.
Yeah, this lane is definitely going to become pretty unplayable soon for Spirit. So, you know, each and every time the Toro just taking so much damage here from the hunger and just the slow, drawn-out harassment here from Save.
Death Prophet 5 not seeming nearly strong enough against the enemy Wind Ranger. And looks like Toronto Tokyo in the jungle. Will he get the rune? The 50-50 in 3, 2, 1. Regen. Not bad. Should even up his lane.
Bottom. Don't have another guard to Nightfall. He's able to make sure that Collapse doesn't have an opportunity to lay that spear down on him. Time around, Nightfall able to live.
You 13 mana, boy. I'm dead.
Did he re-record that, you think, or they just take it from the old video?
Oh, there's a re-record, right, from one of the players. And the Poshka.
Regeneration.
I mean, not a lot you can do against this as a DP. You get the Siphon off. So with the Battle Hunger taking him down, he's going to have to go through both of the charges here to keep himself alive.
Vanguard Dota.
Now the TP in Toronto Tokyo is going to look to try and punish DM for this. DM.
There's no point in running it.
Shackle. We'll stop there. The crit coming in from the Wraith King. He's got enough burst. Very far blast into you.
Vanguard.
The Vanguard. And the crit someone will get him. But Poshka having that final bit of magical damage to push DM over the edge. But my goodness, it took everything.
Yeah. It's crazy. Maposhka actually healed all the way up to full because he's draining so much HP from an axe with near 1200 HP. Tough to dive. Surprised they went for it, but even with the death, somewhat worth because you forced Void Spirit away for so long. Look at how it affected Toronto Tokyo's net worth. It's the thing about getting kills nowadays. If they take you too long, you, especially as a mid, you would have preferred creep waves. Let's see.
Starting to scout out around these 8-minute runes coming up. Save and Maposhka making the move over. See in the mid. GPK is still just having the better time, maximizing what he's getting out of this early game. Toronto is in. The rune's going to be at the top, and Toronto's got to get out. He'll be fine. This movement making around mid. That leaves Nightfall open to be jumped upon by the two of them. And we collapse and mirror. This is what sort of the third time they've taken down Nightfall in this bottom lane. And Nightfall having a much more punished beginning to this one. Farm's still not looking too bad for him, but seeing a lot of sort of XP and gold being picked up by this Mars. A much stronger start to the game Collapse is going to have this time around.
I like that he's also recognized, you know what, I want to do stuff. No more of this pipe rush. I'm going to deal damage. Phase boots, bracer, grab the soul wing for the farming speed. He had blink queued up. I'd love to see him just go for just kill things.
I think he will after this.
Going in again.
This time saves here to outpower. Comes in with a shackle. They try and turn the burst on to Collapse. They got enough, they do. Kingslayer gets the combo in. Takes out
Radiant's
Collapse.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, no dust. They didn't want to blow a sentry. Didn't have the spells up. And ultimately, not worth the resources for the support. So DM, Vanguard Dota gonna outfarm the Wraith King just by cutting waves, farm an easy camp. Broom handle to boot. Says hello, Ithoro.
It's alright. I'm gonna go straight for the Radiance this game. No Armlet, no Midas. Looking for that complete rush, which is, I think, sort of out of the 3 combos, probably the thing we see the least right now. Pretty much most of the time, it's going to be the Armlet or Midas in the build-up.
Radiant structure.
See if he still commits for the naked Radiance. Save on Mirror, but leaps are ready, and VP just continue to be on this tier 1 tower mid, and 10 minutes in. Getting a lot of damage done here in the mid lane. Team Spirit are around. VP no signs of backing off.
Is under attack.
GPK is still feeling confident. Let's get the shackle set up onto Toronto Tokyo, but no further follow-up. It's the back off for now, but this tier 1 on the edge of being taken out.
Good information. They felt the presence of the Mars creeping in from bottom lane. He went missing. They had a nice ward on him to scout his rotation through the river. And now the old switcheroo, as we've come to expect, somewhere around the 10-minute mark. The enemy carry TPs to off lane, does not want to play against an Axe anymore, and VP say, oh, well, is it that time? Okay, we'll do this dance, and they go top to most likely trade safe lane towers.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle
Pretty
tower
peaceful game, kind of as expected. 2 to 4, 11 minutes.
Similar to sort of the frequency of kills we had last game. I think, if anything, even lower this time round.
DPK gotta be cautious.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Waits.
Over the spin. Person taking out time they do. Straight in onto GPK. Fantastic spear from Collapse. Coming from the trees. Sets up for the kill. Up the exorcism. Poshcase hit 6. He's ready to go for more. They've got the arena down. They've trapped Nightfall. Kingslayer does have a false promise to offer up. But this is going to be so much overbearing damage onto Nightfall that he's very likely to fall. He does. A false promise, and he is not enough to outdo that. That has been done by Spirit. Spirit, not only just a tier 1 in the mid, but the 2 biggest kills they could hope for from GPK and Nightfall.
Under attack.
Yeah, DM playing like a real carry. He was the one that actually came bot, shoved that lane. Now doing the walk. You saw him circle enemy jungle. That's where he's going to want to play. He's very close to the Blink Dagger. And then it gets a lot easier for this VP lineup to get things done. Nightfall's game pretty lost, but he'll have a Blink at some point, but behind his Axe. That's going to be the true timing.
Are fortified.
Suddenly these playmakers will actually be able to do just that. Wow, an E-Blade rush for GPK this time. Gets just to blow up the support duo.
Yeah.
They don't have hard save. The benefit of an Oracle, too. It's a lot of burst damage you could add. Same with the Tiny, of course.
Can be nice as well to protect those that are caught underneath the reach of the Wraith King.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Get in that space. Bottom tower taken. Going to be on track to rush these big items this game with the areas that he's found.
It fills me with nothingness.
Collapse. Offering around GPK. And I've got Toronto Tokyo coming over as well. GPK with the spear. They've caught him out before the ship starts, and they've got the burst. Another time here where Collapse's spear has been the death of GPK.
I'm dead.
He is having a much better game, a high impact this time around from Collapse.
Yeah, it's killing items. I'm telling you, if he's feeling himself now. This is the way he's meant to play. Initiation, their dust.
That's sentries down. The dust. And will manage to punish Collapse, and a good time to do, as we see, trying to get the build up on the Blink Dagger. Had about 1,700 gold, so we'll just post that a little bit with moves like this. I think he definitely wanted to be a little more careful.
Oh wow! Hold up, that was a bot. That's a bot on the Void Spirit.
Yeah, I like it. Right? This is one of those mids where the bots rush, it can work. You know, it's like your pucks, right? A hero that it's all in the abilities. You need the abilities, bots. That's going to maximize your ability to just get involved. You don't have to have that item to buff up your offensive or defensive potential. Mass TP's coming in. They can't afford for Nightfall to go down again. Arrow does catch him. Again, coming in with a call on to Mirror at the side. Mirror with a few leaps left ready, but GPK turning into Mirror himself. Using the leaps against him. Will manage to continue to chase. Closing upon him. Get the kill. Mirror will fall. Because they didn't have enough damage to take down Nightfall. Now DM, another catch. He's onto the profit. And two back-to-back plays there. DM setting up for the action. A pretty much ideal blink dagger showing there.
This is how VP are meant to play it. Now with the double blink, they can actually get aggressive on map. Wraith King survives. No risk. He's closing in on the Radiance. And that'll certainly accelerate his farming speed. You know, they're going greedy on Team Spirit. They don't really fear going late this time.
Yeah. Do you think that's the correct call this game? Did you look at this and feel that they will have some superiority in the later stages?
Oh, they got to kill Oracle, but that's a lot easier with the Void Spirit. So I think that they're certainly going to be in better shape. Is there a blink on Collapse? What did he end up going for?
He was saving up for it, so I don't think he's quite got them. Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay,
he just had enough.
So you've had this big initiation advantage on the side of VP. It's why they've picked up the last 3 kills on map. But now, Equalizer, Arena, Spear combo, you're going to pick off pretty much anybody. Be very careful, GPK.
Oh, they've caught him 2 times in a row. Can they get him a 3rd? See, he's already backing off and does have Save by his side. Save's going to actually head in. Smoke will be dispelled on Toronto Tokyo, so a little harder now for Spirit to get the jump. Still on the shadows, though. Toronto Tokyo to show mid.
They want him.
Yeah.
Oh! Pass fingers.
They're going to make the aggression play onto Dio. Save. Yeah, we're just trying to set up for Collapse, but Collapse actually still able to find it. The Arena enough to catch DM as DM tries to step away. They get the kill done.
And Oracle, 2 seconds on the ultimate, wouldn't have been in range to save him anyway. But just kind of reminiscent of the last game. Both teams just playing conservatively. Playing as 5. This time, Team Spirit, I think, in a much more comfortable position.
Is under attack.
And firmly in control of both positions on top of the net worth chart. And it's going to like this Void Spirit build is going to pay dividends because you're just going to cut these waves. Bottom in the tier 2, so now you go cover top. He's going to be very farmed, top net worth. And the Kaya next is like this is pretty much just the ideal, even with the farming skill build. So this will be a very fat Void Spirit. And it's going to be an incredibly difficult game for Kingslayer specifically. Him and Save can't really afford to itemize defensively here. There's items you must get. You're going to save your team. You want that Javelin to Maelstrom Rush on the Wind Ranger, but you're very susceptible to just being killed off any jump.
What a bounty!
Yeah, it's going to be all on VP's cause to capitalize on any moves the Spirit make onto the supports.
I don't know about this E-Blade, man.
Well, you feel that... Well, you just don't like the sort of the burst of the Morph this game. You'd rather see him go sort of the same build as last time round, just the sort of Master Skadi right-click build-up.
I don't mind E-Blade, but I think rushing it is tough nowadays. Like, it's not an item that's just going to straight up win you the game, right? And it's a lot of gold to carry before you're able to actually spend it. That's my concern with it, is that for the last 6 or 7 minutes, he's had 0 gold, improving his farming speed, his gameplay. Now it's like, okay, we've got E-Blade, let's make it happen. That's why TP's based. They're gonna smoke. They're gonna push wave and go for it right now.
I mean, they have got a lot of burst. They get him with the E-Blade combo and the follow-up with the Tiny. It's gonna be a kill pretty much on anyone on Spirit side. Yeah. Get the catch on Itura. With the burst, that's going to be Itura down. Itura was on the DM. Pulse Prime is going to be used here to keep DM alive. The posture is in on the sleep. Kingslayer trying for the TP out, but Toronto Tokyo's in with the grab. Brendan down, they'll be able to take out the 2 of them. Nothing of any value lost here from Spirit, just a reincarnation, but they don't care. 2 heroes out on VP. Spirit can now head into the pit.
Baited. Straight up baited. Well played, Spirit. You kill the hero with the built-in Aegis, and then the rest of the team's like, oh, okay, we'll just pop our ults then, thank you very much. Procced an AoE slow on your entire team. forced the buyback. Now you can't Roche, but you'll take that as Spirit. Your late game is secured so long as you don't get owned in some huge engagement. With no ults up, relax. Everything is chill.
Absolutely, we're seeing it at the gold of Toronto, Tokyo, and Utoro staying a fair bit ahead now of the mid and the carry of VP. A big lead being grown. VP can't afford any more moves like that. Otherwise, they're really going to feel it in the network. And we're seeing, you know, even with the way the last things are going, they're keeping their foot on the pedal. Immediate smoke up once again from VP.
But this is such a tough smoke. They're going to get vision up, I believe, which is nice. But yeah, you can't hunt the Void Spirit. Toronto Tokyo are playing real well, just sort of hiding, shoving side lanes, playing trees. This ward is quite nice, but you need more than that as VP. You'd love a kill into sneaky Roche, so it would take you some time. Like it, the scout it, all right.
Both teams just playing ever so careful once again, as we saw last game. Neither team wanting to take the wrong step forward.
They got really good vision on Spirit.
The jump collapse. It's going to start things. They've got the two support. GM's going to try and get with the cancel. The Toronto Tokyo is already over towards the backline. Takes that save. They're going to bring the pull out of the DP. They will lose DP. Two there. Both supports got on VP. The core's now left alone. GPK's surrounded it. Avalanche out on Toronto Tokyo and collapse. Again, using the Void Spirit form to try and jump away to safety. But they're in with the stun. GPK is caught. Spirit again taking the team fight.
VP just caught napping, man. This gold advantage is getting pretty formidable. They're playing on top of wards. You smoke bot, you place ward, you sentry, but then you walk into Spirit's area of the map. They've controlled your triangle, and this is just so simple for them. Kingslayer is leading the charge. That's never going to work out for you. He's forced to blow his ultimate early onto the axe just as some sort of, you know, just before he dies. GPK, he'll try to get away, but nice catch there. Easy remnant. He dies too.
Yeah, I mean, that was close to it. They're also losing DM. DM able to TP out as they didn't have any disable available. And another fight where they're having to bail on some of these bad moves. And maybe sort of one of these scenarios where we're seeing sort of the fact that, you know, VP last game, how important that Underlord was. You know, last time round, DM, he's TPing out on his own. Last game, he was able to take the squad out when things started to look bad. They don't have that luxury this time round.
Third smoke. This is the trademark VP do something smoke. But thus far, it's backfired each time. So find a support. That you need to kill a backline. Void Spirit or support. Cannot initiate on Wraith King. Cannot initiate on Mars.
I mean, if this goes horribly, they can fight call it early. This is what they can achieve at VP. The arena's down though, TM. And Nightfall have been caught. Nightfall caught out by the spear. They're getting forced apart here. Nightfall is taking heavy damage here as we run down by Yatoro and Mirror. And Nightfall will go down. They've lost the Tiny. The rest of VP, they've got a bail. DM will manage to break away, but Save has been grabbed by the Remnant. Toronto Tokyo has the control. Rain Fire Blast comes in as Save will fall to the poles. Kingslayer also taken out. Another failed smoke attempt here from VP. It's DM. He's being watched here by Collapse. Collapse. Oh, he's got him.
Under attack.
Able to find him in the trees. Put a stop to the TP out. Toronto Tokyo with the box ready to join forces with him. And they'll take down 4. This game now very tough for VP off the back of 3 bad smokes in a row.
They feel pressure to get something done. The late game isn't in their control, and they itemized for fights. You know, blink E-Blade. If you can't kill stuff, there really isn't much the draft's going to be able to do for you, and thus far, Spirit has had VP's number.
Some very nice moves from Spirit, showing that they are prepared for this aggression every single time. And this time. The Siphon here nearly kind of doing it. He was able to get that off very quickly.
Under attack.
Look at this from Spirit. As soon as VP show their faces on the map, Spirit straight towards them. Closing in onto Nightfall. As Nightfall. A little too much rotation there from Collapse with the spear. The arrow though does connect
from downtown.
They didn't believe they weren't moving in with it. So Nightfall lucky to get away there. Yeah, collapse. He could have had that for sure. I guess the God's Rebuke maybe not available. Could have laid that down straight away, but the hesitation will allow Nightfall to get away with his life intact this time.
I'm trying to think, how do you get back into this if you're VP? Like, you got to capitalize on a mistake, I think. If Spirit just continue to ball up, play as 5, they're just too strong. Like, Yatoro, this man, 2000 HP, status resist a Radiance, 2 lives. Void Spirit enormous, now with an Ags soon to be completed.
Having a great game in Toronto. I mean, you said it, one of his signatures, 606.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Absolutely no mistakes made by him so far this game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Pretty insane there as well. Yeah. You know, the most damage being done by Mirror this game on his Mirana.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, the Spirit Vessel, I think, might have a little bit to do with that. But definitely underrated 4 position, it feels like, from what we've seen so far in both halves of the European DPC.
I mean, can VP just... They can't play the farm game? They have to... They have to fight?
You can try to play. At this point, fighting is a no-go. It's just not going to work out for you running into Team Spirit. You're going to have to try and stall it out. Take an advantageous team fight. Really, you need Spirit to make a mistake. Right now, Spirit are one huge gamble ahead. So just chill. You can take a little loss here and there. Maybe somebody gets picked off. No big deal. You're playing for the next stages. Well, the first stages, right? Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't actually.
They didn't finish it off. They didn't finish it off the first time. Yeah, it's still there.
Well, they're waiting for the Ags. Yeah. Now they smoke. Yep, Ags on Yatoro. Here it comes. Or Toronto.
Yeah, big timing.
Now we go. I like it. Collapse should have his BKB. There it is. That's I mean, talk about a timing. There you go.
Yeah, this sort of BKB Mars, Ags, Void Spirit, this is going to be a nightmare to fight into for VP. They don't have the BKBs yet on their cores. You know, GPK, Nightfall are going to be massively vulnerable to this sort of
Radiant's curry.
And there he is, got him. They got him. I mean, he's got nothing to protect himself, as I say. He's just a few hundred gold away from the BKB. Spirit just finding the perfect time to strike, and up top, Nightfall, he's got Blink up. He's out, and he is away. Nothing else to catch him there. Nightfall will manage to escape. But GPK yet again, I mean, they're just catching him so many times here. Spirit,
best situation.
Yeah, they might not have been prepared to fully punish him last game, but this time round, they're really slowing down GPK's game.
Oh yeah, and I really point once again to the way VP thought they could play it. The way they itemized was that, oh, we're going to be ahead, we're going to hunt these guys all over the map. No stat items, no strength to speak of on the Morph.
And sort of
first 20 minutes.
Compared to last, what do you think it is that they're missing the most this time around with their draft VP compared to last game?
Dire's bottom.
I think the bottom lane going so much worse certainly hurt them. Instead of being the pacemaker, Nightfall sort of just fell off, felt somewhat useless, really.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
No one able to make plays.
Roshan has fallen to the dust.
Asher on Yatoro, and they are feeling themselves on Spirit. At this point, you're just cruising.
Radiant's
and notice how that smoke succeeds. They had a huge item spike. VP's 3 smokes were kind of just like, hey, we got to get something done.
Take us. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now the wraparound invis, the free smoke.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Still holding on to the tier 1 tower down in this bottom lane. Dota Tokyo is going to start things. He'll stop the red double. Catch save. Maybe with just the damage to the astral steps and simulate Remnant too. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Remnant misses it. Doesn't matter. Toronto Tokyo are having more than enough damage here with the resonant pulses and chase down.
Surprised, you know, that was a potential fight for VP to turn it around, but they'd already ditched. Great warding from Spirit. They have so much information. High ground ward, yeah, we scouted out right there. Another one in this top lane. So easy to control map. Whenever you see Radiant heroes underneath, gameplay becomes just incredibly easy. They're going to find Mira. Or will they?
Oh, not Mira. He's more than fine. In fact, he's got a lot of backup coming in. The arena's down. The They've got GPK and DM. False Promise will allow GPK to break away, but DM left behind, surrounded by Team Spirit. It's relatively tanky, but probably not taking enough. Nightfall's also been caught off to the side by Toronto Tokyo. Arrows in. DM still alive from the push. Not enough. No, the pipe will come out. DM does live, but we saw over towards the mid pass that chase was happening. Nightfall gets caught by the tower. Yet again, Toronto Tokyo able to just dive in. With the false promise already used in that earlier attempt to get GPK out that does succeed, there's nothing left to protect the carry.
And now the pause. If I'm in the booth, I'd probably say something along the lines of, guys,
I'm dead.
We've won the game.
Thanks, guys.
Just chill.
Thanks a lot.
I'm dead.
No more fights. If we're not 5, we see the solo kill, Ags reveal, just insane burst damage.
Thanks a lot.
I like what I see.
That feels so good. I mean, this is Toronto Tokyo.
Yeah.
This is what he should be playing. No, none of this Invoker. No offense. Not a bad player, but any hero buying a Midas, probably not suited for the young, soon-to-be superstar.
So queuing up these BKBs here, VP. They cannot do anything really against the jump of this forward spirit now. So here we have it. Back in action. 15k lead here for Team Spirit. Having a completely solid hold of this game too. It's not looking to get any easier for VP. They don't have any sort of crazy core hero that's going to step up to new levels as the game goes on. You know, one of the downsides of having this carry, Tiny, that we're seeing from Nava, he's died quite a bit this game right yet. 0, 6, and 4. It's not been an easy one at all here for the carry, Tiny, in game 2.
That is a rough comparison.
Is under attack. Then
It's
still a recipe away from his BKB. Bottom, DM, he's not getting out. Yatoro's in with a stun. And just taking whatever they want here, Team Spirit. Let's see Collapse, by the looks of it, trying to get the catch onto one of the other two supports this time. Out just in time.
are scanning.
It's just so easy for them to play the game now. So long as they play together, VP can't take a team fight, so they're gonna lose somebody.
Nightfall.
Canary.
He's still got his BKB. He's still trying to get it done with it. Supposed to be the arrow hits. He needs help, but he will get it. GPK is here, so Toronto Tokyo backing off momentarily, but he's actually able to get back in. With the Remnant and the Disintegrate. Nightfall is going to be protected. This time around, VP able to not lose their carry, and they will get the kill onto Toronto.
That was pretty sick, actually. That was a really nice shackle from Save. It might be their answer, you know, just a couple of two-man shackles. But you saw, like, they needed so much damage just to take out a Void Spirit totally by himself.
She collapse. Arena back up in a second. They might hold back though whilst Toronto Tokyo's down.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
VP, what seems to have been the longest of times this game, finally able to find some sort of a trait that does benefit them. Maybe the BKBs will make enough of a difference.
Find out.
There we have it. Nightfall, GPK.
Oh my God.
BKB's ready for the next fight. Collapse is already in. DM is actually going to come with the counterplay. Let's control him with the call. Won't have enough damage on their own with the burster to really threaten Collapse.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
They'll play a call here, VP. They'll hold back.
Yeah, oh man. Back inside the base. Button up the hatches. Void Spirit's about to be alive. The bot's threat means that the moment he spawns, he could be anywhere, which means Spirit are 5 and VP no chance to survive if they were to meet them on the field of combat.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Roshan spawning
Radiant's top
soon?
tower has fallen.
No, not even close to soon. 3 minutes is the minimum. I expect Spirit to bide their time until it's up. Free shard. It's always nice. And AC, Yatoro just way too much gold. He's like running out of items to buy at this point.
And if VP do manage to make a comeback here, definitely one of, if not the biggest one we've seen in quite some time here in this league, in this division. Now 17k here rather early on, 32 minutes in. Team Spirit looking to have complete control of how much farm and XP. Toro, he's pretty much got all the items. It's getting very close to the point that 1 foot placed in the wrong place from VP could lead to an immediate end of the game.
VP, you don't see this very often, but they're just 5 men in their base. The bounty rune disparity, that's nuts. It's a huge edge Spirit's way. It's just, again, a very chill, passive game. I like Spirit though, like they've allowed themselves to collapse.
It's going to get a good start to the fight here. Gets the jump on Kingslayer. Both supports. Easy pickings here for Spirit each time. Not a lot that VP can do to save one of them. Now Nightfall. Now to come over the buybacks. They've got to protect their carry. Nightfall will manage to get the BKB off. Can he actually do anything aggressive with it? He can't. Glimmers out to Collapse. Collapses away. Both supports buying back there because of the threat of losing their Tiny.
Thanks, guys.
And nothing to be found other than just making sure that Spirit didn't dive any further in as they push themselves further behind here in the net worth.
It's like VP, they're playing for imaginary reinforcements to come in. DM not even there. He was shoving out bottom, cut the wave to ensure the push couldn't come in from Spirit, but then they double buyback and you're like, wait, well, what was that for? Spirit just like, oh, well, all right then, and we'll back off. The gold lead now more than 20,000, so continuing to grow.
Yeah, that's insane. And this is, you know, coming into the series, sure, game one was a little shaky from Spirit, but from what we've seen, there was always the chance that Spirit would have this sort of performance in them against VP. As this is, you know, one of the bigger beatdowns that VP's had in quite a while. As they're just getting bullied all over the place. It's just completely falling apart. A 21k lead at 34 minutes in. It's just not a position that VP are very familiar with finding themselves in.
They're Dota players. They're not used to having to play hide and seek, especially as the hiders. And right now, their only sanctuary is within the confines of their base. Spirit as well, bear in mind, they've got a lot more to play for here. VP effectively guaranteed to qualify for TI on points alone, whether they're first or second, doesn't matter.
Has been killed.
Spirit, if you get first place, that's a huge deal.
It's massive.
Suddenly, you have a pretty damn good chance of going to TI on points, regardless of how you play at the major. And a lot of teams are going to be needing wins, so quite possibly will be the most competitive major we have seen in some time. At least 6 or 7 teams will need results to get those points to cross the thresholds to the top 12. Guaranteed to come back here to Stockholm early August. $40 million. No big deal.
Well, here we go. VP with another smoke. If this one goes badly, though, you might see the G's getting dropped. As a lost fight here will be a guaranteed Roshan and its benefits to Team Spirit. Can VP disrupt this in time?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Roshan's going to still try to make the jump. Mirror will get past. DM getting the corner down with the arena down. Collapsing straight over the backlines. Focusing Kingslayer. GPK trying to bring down Yatoro the once. He'll be able to do so. Reincarnate popped. GPK is in the pit. Waveform up in a few seconds. With the silence. Is he going to be able to get out of this? The arrow connects. They've caught him. They're in up to GPK. GPK goes down. VP unable to make the move into the Roche in time, as they'll once again lose Kingslayer and GPK. Team Spirit now 25k ahead and in fantastic position and form to start pushing towards the high ground now.
Out of no situation.
I just don't see how VP get into this, Owen. It's not like they've been, well, I would say they haven't been playing poorly, but they haven't really been playing Dota for 15 minutes. Just trying their best to hold on. Spirit finally have enough of an item advantage. They're just walking into the base. There's the Moon Shard for Kingslayer. for Nightfall. Why do I keep calling him Kingsley?
Oh, save. The jump stake trying to get out to the side. They've got the control onto DM. DM needs help and he needs it now. GPK having to use the buyback. Trying to hit his axe here. DM will still go down. Nightfall's in the combo. Collapse. The BKB's popped by Collapse. Another attempt for DM to come up with the call, but Nightfall getting fully focused. Puts the BKB. It won't save him. Nightfall's gone. 2 heroes on VP down without buyback. As DM jumped, GPK, some of the voice brings out the dissimulate, but with 3 dead, they'll call it GG from VP as this game 2's Team Spirit. They hit back. As I said, the most ferocious team we've seen ever against VP. They've been used to sort of waltzing through the league, getting the easy wins, but this game 2, Team Spirit really put them in their place.
Yeah, they smashed him. Like, that wasn't close. That was utter domination. 20 straight minutes of Spirit. Yeah, just, like, the game felt like if VP were, maybe in a different mood, they would have GG'd out 20 minutes previous. Because it felt hopeless whole time.
Yeah.
They got the heroes they wanted, obviously, 2 games in a row. But this time, Spirit, they actually have aggression. They get kills. They have stuns, and it's glorious. No more Medusa. Slay.
Yeah, and from VP...
Dire team ban. Virtus.pro
Game 3.
turn
This
to
game
battle.
will determine who's going to be taking first place in Eastern Europe, DPC second season, and who is going to be heading directly into the playoffs of the next major. I've got BSJ as well as Kyle joining me on the panel for one final game. Team Spirit showed that they can actually take it. It wasn't like last season. Last season, Team Spirit kind of surprised Virtus.pro. Gotcha. Game 1 goes super long, 66 minutes. Team Spirit barely pull it out. This was a very dominant performance after they got shellacked in Game 1.
I'm going to be honest. If we get a game where VP plays like they did Game 1 and drafts like they did Game 1 and Team Spirit plays and drafts like they did Game 2, this is going to be an exciting Game 3. Any other variation going to be not so action-packed again.
And it has been a bit of a snooze fest, yes. It hasn't been the most exciting thing that Kyle was hoping for when it comes to the two best teams in a region playing against each other.
We still got a third game, though. This is where they're going to ramp it up. They've been just...
They might as well be a BO1, really, the way that these games have played out. It's just... just hard to watch, really.
These have been the filler episodes, you know? We're ready for the grand finale.
This is the final boss. This is the grand climax of a boss battle. And it all starts with a draft. That is... We're going to give them Mars again? We are. I mean, Collapse really turned up in that last game. He had some pretty sick surprise spears.
As my favorite opening, Liquid patented it. Maglina. What do you pick?
I don't know. I mean, the Spirit are just like, yes, Mars, again, do it. Likely,
10 seconds
I hope,
remaining.
for Collapse, because his Mars, certainly
5
strong stuff, but no
remaining.
more Hood. Aggression.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to go the Marana again. I think
agree.
the Shadow Demon in game is nice against the Mag, but you just saw the laning prowess that the Marana had. It was against the same safe laner, both games, and the Tiny looked a lot better against the Shadow Demon than it did against the Marana. I think that's...
You hate it, though, when teams draft the exact same thing that they just kind of...
Yeah, absolutely hate it.
It's a little different when it's just a strong lane. Like, it's similar to the Lion Timber, Lion Centaur of VP.
Okay.
It's that lane combo can be then put into any kind of draft. It's solid enough, and I just think that Marana from Mira, he had top damage dealt until like 30 minutes into the game.
They're really discussing this pickup right now. They're going deep into their reserve time. Is it going to be Marana? Is it going to be Snapfire? Is it going to be Shadow Demon? I mean, is there anything about Lina plus Mag? You know there's going to be a Mag partner here. Is there anything about that says maybe a different 4 position would be good? I mean, Shadow Demon is good because he purges the carry that has Empower on it, right?
Yeah.
Dire
Always been
team
alright
ban.
with things like Wyvern.
I like the Warlock pick. I was thinking if they had to pick a 5, it had to be a healer, because this is such a strong lane that you really can't sustain through it ever. Witch Doctor, Warlock, Oracle. Oracle's not really a heal early on. Enchantress is already banned out. And because Witch Doctor is kind of mediocre in team fights here, Warlock synergizes a lot better as the counter initiation on the RP.
Exactly, and it doesn't even matter if the carry is a BKB. No, it's a hard combo break. In addition, way more damage. I actually like this hero a lot more than Oracle most of the time, unless you have a real game-winning combination, because you just do more in lane, you more sustain, fatal bonds are broken.
Oracle enables one guy to carry you, Warlock prevents the opponent from hitting what they want to hit, and a Mag with the RP, something like a single target save just doesn't make sense. And Oracle has to be paired with the right heroes. You know, we see Liquid, I mentioned them again just because they utilize this hero so much with the Leshrac. You know, it's a specific hero. Last game, it's like you save the Axe, you save the Morph, you save the Tiny. None of these heroes take that second chance and turn it into something, as opposed to a hero like the Lesh or the Gyrocopter that's just going to dump out some damage. So Warlock, there is a lot of synergies with it. When it comes to the carry role, I've been a big fan of Gyrocopter. I mentioned it, but any spread damage. I don't like Spectre. I think it's too passive against the Mag. You can pick a decent carry to carry matchup, and then the hero that's against the Spectre will just have a free Battle Fury.
Especially VP can almost see the PA or the troll in your mind's eye.
They've already banned the PA. Have to consider banning the Faceless Void, I think, too.
think Empower's just too strong for that.
Power on Faceless Void just makes him so much easier to play. You just go Mask of Madness S and Y, and you're super tanky, and you farm really fast. You're farming Ancients at like 13 minutes into the game.
I mean, we've seen Faceless Void do very well with certain steroids, and they could still potentially get, like, say, a GPK Invoker to add on top of that.
10 seconds remaining.
So I could see where you're going, but instead, Team Spirit are going to ban away the Juggernaut.
Remaining.
Well, just
strong focus on lanes.
Yeah, I think that's been the story of this series so far. A big difference. Nightfall's performance is just that instead of getting kills in lane, he ended up dying 3 times. His blink's delayed by 5 minutes, and Tiny really doesn't feel great if you don't consistently farm that keeps you on pace to always be able to find solo kills. You know, he was hunting a mid Invoker for most of that first game. Last time, he barely was able to do half damage to an offlaner. But critical third pick upcoming. What will you reveal as Virtus.pro? And will this be a GPK Magnus? You know, we've seen this in SEA as well as a carry mag.
I think Magnena's too strong is the problem. I don't think you need to rotate it out of the offlaner. The shockwave slow and relocation in the lane is so troublesome for almost every carry in the game. And we'll set up the Light Strike Array because of the newly buffed AoE on it. It's just reliable enough to make it work. And Lena's so potent at, like, Shockwave plus Lena Stun, already that's like 200 damage, ignoring all the right clicks that are getting dished out that are buffed up by the Empower, the Lena Fiery Soul. I'm telling you, it's a terrifying dual lane. I'm surprised more and more teams are not even doing this opening, because not only is it a dual lane that you don't want to pick a carry into, you're going to have a rough lane, but you also know the opponent carry is going to get a free Battle Fury, so as a carry player, it just feels like crap.
Toronto Tokyo is talking a lot right now in the draft. Do you think they're discussing whether or not they want the Mars to shift over so they could get a different offlaner? Do you think they're trying to pick his mid lane right now?
I like Slardar a lot here. Okay. I think Slardar against Void's one of the best one-to-one matchups, and it ramps up the tempo, and since the opponent team has a free Battle Fury, I think you have to make it so that's something that tilts the carry matchup in your favor to make you feel more comfortable.
Man,
we're just going to keep at it.
I want Slardar to pick for Team Spirit. We'll see if they go for it. Even the playing field on the carry front. This is such a good Slardar game.
It's also really good Spectre game.
And
I know
I literally
slow.
said it's terrible.
I know you said it.
You're going against me here, man.
I want to point out Virtus.pro is really putting the pressure on Team Spirit right now. 11 seconds left in reserve time. They just snap pick up that Crystal Maiden.
Let's just go for the Slardar Gyro.
You are correct, though. Like, that top lane now with CM Aura, Lena, Mag, you're just going to spam spells. It's a miserable existence for whatever you put up there.
Combo breaker in fights, but man, you could have just picked freaking Slardar and dumpstered that Void in lane, man.
Warlock Tide, you decide to go and double down on slow, long cooldown, big teamfight ultimates?
This is exactly why you lost game 1, Team Spirit. They're just going to ignore you and farm with a Faceless Void empowered, man. Now they're just going to pick some mobile mid laner for GPK. They're going to play the whole dodge game again. Ideally, you want that hero to have a little bit of tower pressure, because you saw what the Morphling did in game 1, where you are avoiding fights, but you have to be able to threaten something on the map to make the opponent respond to you. I hate this type pick.
It's just so frustrating. Collapse is so good on Mars. All the spirits still available for Team Spirit. And they're forced now to ban, like, you pick the offlaner, they're banning Monkey King and Viper. I guess those are potential heroes. Like, it's just odd. I guess they're protecting their Mars mid, but they just said, okay, it is Mars mid.
This is a sick
10
Ember game.
Remaining.
GPK Ember.
Oh yeah,
5
that's a good point.
Remaining.
All the magic immune carries are gone. They have no hard lockdown until like a Mars with a Euls. He can go. He can feel good about going like non-carry items with like an Orb of Corrosion.
A little tougher now, but still all right.
Nah, I think it's too good. They have no way of killing him in the first 25 minutes of the game.
Any sort of percent-based damage is not bad either.
Select your heroes.
All right, wow.
GPK Invoker with a Faceless Void.
I didn't even notice that. I almost always assume that hero's gone. That's too good. That's way too good.
Yeah,
I would have.
There.
I feel stupid for not calling that one. That's a little bit too easy, I think.
Not only does it work so well with the Faceless Void, if we're going to Clockwerk, Invoker, Wraith King, Tidehunter, and Mars actually all hate EMP a lot.
This was... I think that Tide pick's going to lose it for him. They're just too all in on this 5-man again. VP handled it so well game 1. If I didn't have game 1 as a sample size, I would have to say maybe they can get the 5-man that they want against VP, but they're not going to give it to him. And then VP is going to get their items.
A faster pace that Team Spirit did take in game 2 is required for them to be able to win this kind of draft.
Yeah, they're only tower takers, Wraith King, though. So if he goes like an armlet Deso, I could see that pace being ramped up. But if you take the classic wait 15, 17 minutes to get that Radiance, that's exactly all Faceless Void needs to get that Mask of Madness SMY when he's got the power behind him, and he'll be ready to fight you at that point.
Okay, it sounds like an uphill battle, but that is what Team Spirit was expecting. Match up against Virtus.pro. See whether or not they can make the climb to first place with ODPixel and Kyle.
Indeed, a very important game 3 here for both of these squads. VP versus Spirit. And as we saw from yourself and the panel, seems like you're not big fans of what Spirit's got out this game.
No, not at all. I mean, think about that last game. They're just able to hunt always because cooldown so low and limited, and Yatoro certainly can carry this, but
sure,
I don't know, man. I feel like VP, their team fight with all spells active, a good chrono still neuters most of the Spirit lineup. A BKB Void just kills Warlock, kills Mirana, saves himself. Well, maybe Arrow.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be a first blood here, surely. See who gets the kill. And then let Toronto Tokyo take this for the mid lane. First blood for him.
Thanks, guys.
What did he just buy off the bat? He's not Russian bottle, just free stats now. That's nice.
Yeah, just got the full one coming out ready for the laning stage. Nice early move here from Spirit. And I mean, so as you say, it's a lot of long cooldowns on Spirit's side. But I mean, from VP, they have Chronosphere and RP, but just overall, you feel that VP's lineup just could get more done without the big ultimates?
Oh, Arrow again. Nice juke.
It's all right.
They got him. No, they didn't. The wand that he didn't buy. That was the
Toro's stick was enough to save over the Shadow Word. Toronto actually ended up losing his courier, so he actually went out the wand early. As the courier is actually getting taken down amidst all that chaos.
Well, entertaining start to be sure. And yeah, I think that Spirit, they play best when they don't have to sit on their hands. And in this game, there's going to be moments where they simply can't be active, and then the Empower just negates any sort of farming advantage a Wraith King might have against a Void. And also DM, he's been standout for me so far in this game, or in this series rather.
Sure, what, even last game you feel he was playing the best?
I mean, he's doing his job. Perhaps he could have got active a little more, but he was trying to farm that blink up, beat his carry to it. And in this game, this lane specifically, they want to pull the wave out of tower. That 3 armor bonus to Yatoro is pretty significant.
Well, that's pretty insane there as well. Look at his win rate. 5 games this patch on Wraith King, hasn't lost a game.
Hey, it's like the Alliance DK. When in doubt.
I think this as well. Collapse. 7 games, hasn't lost a game.
Wow.
You don't get better win rates on your off lane and carry than this. So even though the draft may be stacked up against them.
Oh, look at that. Mira. 9-1.
I mean, there's no denying they win on these heroes. They win an awful lot on these heroes.
Will they win this game, though? This is the toughest competition they've got left. Virtus.pro is all that stands between them and a bonus 200 DPC points, which I believe would place them at 600 total pretty close to the threshold that I think will get you into TI. I was talking with a couple stats guys. They figured it'd be somewhere between 600 and 800. Or rather, 500 and 700. I just made that up. But it sounds right, doesn't it?
Well, it sounds like a lot. It's a big number.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Let's see. Interesting. So DM though going a different build. When we saw Koifa play this, it was a 2-0-1. Yeah. He's going for a totally different style. And I'm surprised by that. They have CM aura, so you'd figure that they'd actually be playing more to cast spells. So bit of an innovation in comparison to what we see in the Western EU division.
She saved, doing a very good job here of pushing back the two of them on his own. So the power of the Lina in the lane. Mid. And so far, Toronto Tokyo having the edge, but we'll see how much things begin to change once GPK's got the levels and able to mess with the Mars quite a bit with that EMP. Bottom. Oh, a little rush with the arrow there this time, Mira, but it doesn't matter. Wow. It doesn't matter at all. The physical damage just destroying Kingslayer.
Yeah, it's a rough CM game. I like the early level in Gush. I always get a little sad whenever I see a Tidehunter skip it because the minus armor. It's one of the best level 1 spells in Dota. 40% slow, -4 armor, lasts 4 seconds. And you can see. Especially like CM,
destroys them. We got this any sort of lane backup that's able to get him with the easy hits, and Mirana, absolutely one of those heroes. We have a good shot of getting a lot of kills early on.
This mid lane probably the one to watch. It's the most even. Haven't seen GPK play too much Invoker.
I'm dead.
Well, he plays it, but not their first choice so far in the DPC. Just to see how he chooses to itemize. I haven't seen much success with the Clockwerk, so
it's alright.
Is he dead?
He's looking pretty dead unless the shadow work could do something amazing. Oh, he's actually gonna live. It is just enough the shadow, and yes, Save's got to be careful. Well, damage comes in really onto the two of them. Save will fall, but him and DM will manage to get back in time. But there we have the power of the Warlock. And heals enough to keep him alive.
The lack of power in that shockwave. Double damage for the second point. Instead, we have 2 in power.
Actually, yeah, that is surprising. Yeah, going for the 1-2 one. Yeah, putting more points here early into that Empower.
Just not a fan, especially with Arcanes. Like, the shockwave spam is just so effective. I understand you want to give bonus damage to both you and your ally, but it's not what I've seen most other offlane mags do. Let's see, Rune is not spawning because it's 5 minutes, Kyle. Don't forget. Bottom lane. Going very well for Team Spirit. Void pressured into buying more regen as well because he just takes so much harass. That's the second or third salve used.
That's a complete free farm here for Collapse. So they do have this excellent lane combo as we see.
Oh, they saw that ward too. It's a free XP and gold bonus. That'll be countered, no problem.
Yeah, this is whenever you're sort of laning against the Lina and you're getting chased down, there's not really much you can do about it as a Warlock. Unlikely to be killed solo by Save, but kept pushed right away from the action and giving DM this chance to farm. And obviously, with the extra points and power, this is the benefit. You are going to have that heavy right-click advantage.
Man, I've just realized, EG, they're like the only team I've seen that use like an old foe as a spray. And if only Fear was still part of the organization, we would have got that bathroom photo. That would have been a spray.
That would have...
Talk about a Sterling dominant.
I mean, Valve would have doubled their value as a company.
Instant sold out.
Yeah, they would have sold out of an unsell out of item.
Servers crash.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, he's going for the skewer. Will he get it? No. Does not happen up top. Another. It's a pixels too. Like they spent the whole budget on the rights to the photograph.
Oh,
that's a kill.
Here's the first move. Oh, that's gonna save him.
Okay.
All right, it's forced out, but it keeps him alive.
You can take that. You force a rotation. That's a Ravage for a TP.
Well, GPK are not with any quick measures of being able to get back to the mid, so yeah. Space made and no lives lost here for Team Spirit.
Will that continue? So far, so good. I mean, the Spirit lineup certainly benefits from a slower paced game. They'd love an opportunity to get all their big spells online. If they can take the fights that they want, pretty tough for VP until much later in the game. Just gotta watch the Void's item progression. That's the key. He's gonna have a free Battle Fury thanks to his mag. Wants a good start. Want to see some more Ancient stacks coming out as well if possible.
Have we got any? Not quite yet.
I think
maybe
that's
first round here.
Yeah, Lena's posted up. He knows his job. Does he have multiple?
Oh, yeah, he's got a double here.
Yeah, there you go. Will he get both?
Yeah, perfect.
Both. Easy.
I'm dead.
Despair.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
On top GM.
I had to work so hard to get my voice into the game. Needed the blessing of Val. Same with you, Owen. But these players, they just get to insert themselves. How do you think they determined that? Only 3 voice lines, but 5 players. They fight for it? Based on branding?
I imagine so. GM. Can they do this? Yatoro, he's got 1 charges, but and he wouldn't
Oh, what? He didn't stick?
It wouldn't have been enough, right? Some maths. Oh, Chrono's down. Alright, dropping the Chrono for him.
Tower is under attack.
I think that's enough.
No, it wouldn't have been. It's 150 mana, right?
10
times 50.
Time.
Oh, he had mangoes.
Yeah.
He had a lot of mangoes.
No,
okay.
the mangoes were just picked up.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say I don't think he had the mangoes when he died.
Wait, 10 times 15.
That's not hard. You can do it.
That's 150, but the ult costs 180. And he wouldn't have been. He would have done.
He wouldn't have had it. You know, he knew as well. You know, he wasn't wasting those charges. Yatoro did the maths.
Under attack.
True.
Mine is truly
Radiant's bottom tower.
Want to catch him here? Not that he wants him away. He just still have GPK up. Now Yatoro definitely having enough mana sustain to make things a little difficult when it comes to VP trying to punish him here. And 4 heroes, 5 heroes.
Back to Thanks, guys.
I don't
Thanks.
like
this. This is a bit awkward. You gotta split up. This ain't time. This is not the time to group up and go.
I mean, I'll be honest, VP didn't really play so clean in that last game. We were a little critical, but deservedly so of their smokes. Just, oh, well, we gotta do something. Oh, okay, let's try again. This game feels like that same, Deer Lost in the Woods vibe, where they find the kill, but then they're all there. They don't have tower pressure. You're not going to be able to fight if the Tide TPs. They lost bot tower while that occurred. Like, their whole jungle is just gone. So, yeah, maybe just chill a bit. Go farm an Ancient stack with your Void MOM. Probably your only play.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Going for that Midas this game, GPK. A little earlier than what we saw from Toronto, Tokyo today. Rather than getting the full vessel, just sticking with the urn and going straight into it. Plus the levels are going to have a heavy benefit this game. He's got some fantastic setup for that potential down the line. That's that Ags, that Cataclysm, RP. I mean, a lot of stuff, multiple sort of setups for that sort of late game, just game breaker.
I really like that he's going to go for the Midas before Vessel on GPK. The urn is nice. It's a little sustain, extra damage, very good for Quadsparks Invoker. But to go full Vessel in a game you don't really need it, just kills your item progression. Earlier you get the Midas, the better. Whoa.
Golem drops.
Whoa.
Arena as well.
Radiant's middle
GPK. The damage coming in as GPK.
You got him.
Everything thrown down onto the Invoker. Going to try and chase down Kingslayer over to the side. The RP's come out. They got the damage though. DM for trying to focus Toronto Tokyo. And Laguna comes out. Toronto Tokyo is still on the retreat. The Chrono's down. Team Nightfall has the damage with the light strike array.
Middle tower.
They don't have further detection. They're not going to be able to kill it. Toronto Tokyo actually lives.
Radiant's
As
middle
VP,
tower.
they're going to lose it. 4 potentially. TM's trying to run. They've got it. 4 dead. On VP, they get nothing.
absolutely nothing. They took a fight 4-on-5. I know they used a bunch of spells, Owen, but Team Spirit, they had so many more remaining. Like, no Invoker, that's the team fight for Team Spirit. They get off the RP, they get off the chrono, but there's just no damage.
I mean, look at this.
I mean, a whiff, and then I love this from Spirit. Just
Radiant's
go.
middle tower
Like, they
is
just
under
blow
attack.
everything
Yep.
just on the edge of that rock golem, and they use every single ability. Expected a shorter TP, I think. That would have caught the mag, and perhaps this fight goes even worse, but can it go worse for VP? I'm not even sure. We see the RP, but there's just no damage.
It came out to, I believe, just Toronto, Tokyo, and then this man just tanked an RP, tanked a chrono, yet he still doesn't die.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's, we Team Spirit. Rep of the city. You know who's rooting for them? Every single team in this region. VP's going to TI. If you're Na'Vi, you're ASM Monaco Gambit, you are just thinking, hell yeah, Spirit, let's go. Because if you get to the major, that's one more team we don't have to compete against. And I already can foresee a final where it's those two teams playing for that one spot. It's kind of weird, but you don't actually want to root for the strongest team in your region in this season, too. You're hoping that next best steps up. Faggot stroke.
Radiant's middle tower is
Aggressive
under
on a collapse,
attack.
but collapse, he doesn't fear.
Dire's structure
VP right now, in fact, Teepers are coming in, Yatoro. Will land the stun onto Nightfall, and then goes this arena for Toronto, Tokyo though. It's called GPK. They're on top of the Invoker. Invoker's going to get taken down, and now Nightfall, he's been left behind. He's got a time walk. They've got any further catch it. TM's got to come across and try and get some safety for Nightfall. It's going to secure Yatoro in. A light striker here holding back the Wraith King. Mirror collapse. They're still chasing. They're hunting him for TM. They're going to be able to find him in the trees. TM, he's got RP up, but he's not going to want to use it here. He's dead for sure. He'll accept his fate. As again, another move here where Spirit, they're just rolling over VP.
Radiant's bottom tower
This
is
is
under
unbelievable.
attack.
They're just fighting, and VP is like, okay, let's go for it. But guys, I know you got confidence. You're roller extraordinaires, but this is not a team you can fight into. They didn't even have Ravage, but the threat of it was there.
Yeah.
It was coming off cooldown, so you knew buybacking and trying to recommit is not going to pan out.
Absolutely.
It's gonna blink in a moment.
They're doing that without the ultimates. You know, the ults are going to be good to go. As you say, yeah, blink or collapse, ready to fly out.
No, we doubted the draft on, but we should, you know, our observer, they showed us the truth. These players, undefeated Wraith King and Tidehunter so far. One win, 9 wins, 1 loss on the Mirana. Hell yeah, you talk about comfort heroes, just pick what you're best with. Rock and roll, this is great stuff from Spirit.
Take us.
And the free smoke. They see it coming. Careful.
Radiant are scanning.
Not able to do anything, of course, onto Yatoro himself.
Executed the blacksmiths.
Dire are scanning.
Got to play very careful, VP. They can't allow to have any more fights as the last few have been. GPK, is he going to go for this?
Dire's
They've scanned him.
tower is under attack.
They scanned. They know GPK is still around. Oh! They've seen him. Arena's down. They've found him. Team Spirit there, knowing that GPK would still be hovering around this bottom half of the map.
And they hit him with the tips. The VP still laughing, but those that gleeful laughter is turned into a bit of a nervous tick because I don't think they have an idea of how to fight once again. And VP, when they can't fight, has not seemed like the same team.
No.
Blink Ravage available, top 3 net worth, all Team Spirit. And their 5 man is just nuts. What's the Wraith King's build? Is he gonna have a Radiant sometime soon? Indeed he is. I love that he went for the armlet this game though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Keeps him, it's just so cost efficient on a hero like Wraith King. And that Midas is starting to look like it might not be enough to get GPK back into this.
It's going to be a slow one. He's had such a rough time off the last few moves that Team Spirit's been able to make against VP, and Team Spirit, they're not stopping. They're going to hit them with the smoke themselves.
Oh, they had a great ward though placed outside the Roche pit, so they saw that smoke. Oh. Close.
Nothing to get in there though. Collapse. Found safe over to the side.
I'm dead.
I think he is.
I'm dead.
I will commit this to
He knows the score.
Oh. Some nice jukes.
No.
You make the situation out of no situation.
I like the communication you can make now with enough voice lines. He was dead, but the best situation was certainly found, which is to just survive that extra 15 seconds.
Radiant's middle tower
Time
is
waste.
under attack.
I mean, VP, they've got to do something right. I feel like we're falling into sort of the same boat as last game, where VP just not a whole lot's being done. A Spirit 11 for 2, 7k lead and growing with every passing minute. I mean, good growth here against VP.
Radiant's top
VP,
tower
they do have a solid combo themselves.
Dire's
Chrono,
bottom
RP,
tower is under attack.
but not the easiest of teams to find it against. Very unlikely that you're going to catch many of Spirit's members standing on top of one another.
You're going to need BKBs plus these initial damage items that are coming out for Virtus.pro
Radiant's
before you
top
can actually
tower is
fight
under attack.
into Team Spirit. They just have way too much AoE control. Expect their next move to be Roshan. And there's that Midas on GPK, but it's looking rough, man. 11-2 the score. Neither support on VP is going to have much survivability. Continuing to hunt with the arrows. Warding is ideal now. Yatoro controlling the Radiant Ancients. That's key. Whenever you're playing against this mag draft, Collapse putting his body between him and the enemies. You can't target a Tide Hunter. It is not going to end well for you, Virtus.pro. And
Well,
once again,
yeah,
let's smoke into nowhere.
Radiant are scared.
And Nightfall's actually just going to break out of it.
This team, maybe this explains a bit of their underperformance in the major. When they aren't in control of the game, they look lost. And
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, now it's so hard to make a move. Team Spirit are prepared. In fact, there's the jump. Collapse. And onto King's there. VP still want to try and go for something. They will break the tide away from the rest of them. But in the arena, Nightfall's been caught. Jumps out with the time warp. RP being used on the solo Collapse. He wants to come out with the Ravage. It's ready. So he can disrupt the time that Nightfall's getting to try and beat down the hero. The Golem is up. They drop it on the board. Nightfall's gone. As again, just Spirit having much greater composure in these team fights, as VP are really struggling with these 5v5s.
Collapse.
Run! He's gonna blink in a second.
They've got him.
So something to be found at the end of it, but still not really big enough of a kickback against Spirit to get VP in a happier position. They lose the tier 2 top. Money's going to be there for the relic to be grabbed by Yatoro. Things continue to look up and up here for Team Spirit.
You said it yourself, Owen. Like, you know, the Twitch chat, everyone could see that Ravage coming. He's standing there. He's like, okay, you want to do that?
Nightfall.
Okay. There was no scenario that was going to work. He chronos. There's a Ravage interrupts the CM ulti. Of course, Collapse is going to pop his spell. GPK, that's popping. Careful.
Mirror is out of leaps. One in a second. They do anything to save him? They cannot.
With honor.
The kill found here by VP. But yeah, that's sort of pre-BKB. It's hard. You know, any of these sort of large-scale AoE ultimates are always going to mess with the Void, right? The Ravage, even just the drop of the Golem, you're just taking away those precious seconds that Nightfall needs to lock down on whoever he's caught in it.
I actually think this might have been a BKB rush game, even before the Sanj and Yasha. Just because you need uninterrupted damage in the chrono.
Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy, yeah.
If you don't, because you're never going to catch zero. Somebody somewhere is going to have something to throw at you when you've used the chrono this game. It's not easy.
DD, love this from Toronto. BKB right after. I'm trying to think. VP, you know, you'd love to get something going. No Ravage. You have RP, but you don't have a blink on DM. Thus, your initiation is a Tornado or a Chronosphere. It's not realistic.
Spirit, they're going to look for the Roshan objective hit. And they're pretty much getting away with this. Radiance done on Yatoro.
Solar Crest, Vlad's next item. Love it. Just stack those auras. Bonus damage. and a gem to boot from Aposhka. Look at the ward control they've got. Sure, they have no control over bottom of their ancient camp, but they don't care. They're just trying to deny Void this ancient, and I believe they've done so successfully for the last 10 minutes or so.
I don't think he's been really able to farm this area at all.
Yeah. Now an Aegis Wraith King, I've got a Radiance, suddenly my farm increases, and VP, it's the same old story. We're gonna smoke into the Aegis with Ravage and all other spells on cooldown. Good luck, sirs. Good luck. You got Blink on Max, RP.
It's a tough move. But it's just sort of a testament to show how rough of a position VP feel that they're in if they feel that they have to try for these sort of plays. RP's dropped down, they've got Toronto, Tokyo. Clean move, but nothing to be done. So all in all, that's something. They can't really hope for too much off the back of these smokes because of them being behind. Getting a core, it's not bad.
I don't know, man. Like, they just give up 2 towers for that now, though. At least bottom will fall once the creep wave gets there. And honestly, if I'm Spirit, I just keep going.
Sure, I mean Spirit, they're not going to be shaking up too much. But at least for VP, better than the smokes they're able to find towards the end of last game. It gets they don't lose anyone.
I disagree, Owen. I don't think that kill gives you much at all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, smokes last game weren't great.
True, okay,
the standard's not very high.
It's better.
The standard's not high. They had a rough one in the second half of last game.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It's like getting catered food, right? If it's edible, it's above average.
Yeah.
Now he's back alive, and it's time to chase VP back to their side of the river. Oh, careful.
DM.
Oh, if he had quick cast, maybe he gets that Yules off.
They'll get saved instead.
I'm dead.
Who put me out?
So, you get the kill, you push lane, you lose tower, and now Spirit just kick you right back out. And if he gets vision of the high ground with the courier, he's going to grab the 1 ward placed as well. Now on to mid. You've got Aegis. Time to go. I'd like to see Spirit fight. They won't be able to time it before Void has BKB, so the fights get a little more difficult. They're not out of the... Like, look, making memes of it, but VP, they're still in this. They've got Void. They will have the late game. You can always find multiple man Chronospheres.
And so talk about making memes. I'm not too sure about the item saves got queued up. What do you reckon about this, Kyle?
Was it a Meteor Hammer or something?
I'd say even more kind of strange. So on save on the Lina.
Okay.
Does that do much for him this game?
Not against Tide. Mars is going to have BKB. Maybe for the supports?
I mean, Rana's got a Yules.
The right-click damage? He's
changed. I was like, yeah, there's no way he's buying an Orchid. Okay. He's not going to buy it.
Here we go.
They're much more expected.
I just love
a cape.
This was so inherited from Sol. It's like, gosh, we can't get out on the map. We're losing. Let's go smoke, guys. We're going to fight him.
Allies disappear.
This move's going to hurt.
Oh, they should have seen that. Board Spirits got blocked.
Oh.
Will they venture outside of the base?
We've got the full axe on GPK. We do. We've got the full axe. So he's...
Whoa, whoa.
Oh. They'll make a jump. Nightfall isn't going to get the BKB off. Now maybe they can look to turn. They're in. On the two of them. They've got the Chrono down. They're focusing. The Cataclysm coming into play. Takes that giant Tokyo. Brings down the Ravage comes out for collapse. Catches the 4 of them. Now T-Spirits ready to hit back. They're onto the end. Take down the Magnus. Fireback comes out straight away from him as Yakira will fall a second time. Ready for a third round. Of course, turn towards Nightfall. RP comes up and TM the left track away there as well. They've taken out the Wraith King. Dead for good now. As Wraith King's gone, VP now ready with a cleanup. Collapse, he might blink out to safety, but Maposhka, he'll get left behind. It's VP able to pull together a solid fight outside the walls of their base.
That was sick. Like, big mistake from Spirit there. They all in for this idea they were going to get a stun arrow off. Does not land. And suddenly it's like, oh, okay. Well, collapse, thank you very much. Yeah. Use that arena. I'm going to chrono you. You're going to go down. Cataclysm Chronosphere. They just got that timing.
It just delivered. Literally, we had the courier flying in. There it is now.
What happens to the arrow? So here it comes in, and he just BKB'd. Yeah.
I think it hit a creep, actually.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I mean, Collapse just puts himself way out of position. As soon as you get the double chrono, like, this is it. Doesn't matter the rock's there to counter-initiate. It's just kerplow.
I mean, and this combo's going to hurt. It doesn't matter how far behind you are. Cataclysm, with this sort of setup,
Yeah.
It's going to kill someone. Almost certainly two. You know, it is going to be something that will be quite the challenge for Team Spirit to fight into, despite the strengths and lead that they have built up.
Yeah, love the buyback from DM too. He knew I have RP. Maybe I'm not needed, but secures the kill. They kill Wraith King 3 times.
Yeah.
They might have just straight up turned this game. Like, might have counted him out too soon, but oh wait, or have we? He has no buyback. Push bot wave, 74 seconds.
That's a big window.
Dire's middle tower is
Big
under
window,
attack.
no Magnus, no Chrono.
Do we have Ravage up soon?
About the same as the Chrono here. Same time.
Okay. Mid-tier 2 will likely be a target. You gotta be serious. Spirit, they need better initiation. You also cannot go for a void in that spot if you're not able to 100 to 0 it, because he'll just leap, now full HP, now BKB, and if all of a sudden there's 3 heroes in melee range, it's the easiest chrono of your life, and we witnessed there. Cataclysm equals double Sunstrike on all targets chronoed.
Radiant are scanning.
And yeah, see, I like this more
Radiant's
than what we
middle
saw
tower
out of Toronto,
has fallen.
Tokyo. You know, he maxed Exort. Like, I think that no matter what, as an Invoker, you never want to see max Wex. It's just not nearly as impactful as getting to hit this crazy Ags max damage Sunstrike Cataclysm combo. This is what the hero is meant to do here. And yeah, that net worth is quite low, but it's deceiving because
That's the damage you can do.
Yeah, he's a Cataclysm.
Yeah.
That's his role in a team fight, and it's all on the Chrono. No hard save on the side of Spirit, so they got to be very cautious. VP, oh, to do something smoke. You love it. Cooldown's up. Let's just go, folks.
Yep.
Can't stay stuck in our base.
Chrono and a Cataclysm is going to kill anybody.
They don't want Mira.
Want something bigger. Ooh, it's
Not buyback.
not necessarily the big Chrono they were hoping for. Just a Warlock.
Outpost bottom is available as well.
Well, still going to trap on the RP. He's got the two of them, but the counter plays there for Collapse. Comes in the ramming, but the BKB's out for Nightfall. This Cataclysm comes in. Chonga Tokyo goes down. Yatora goes down the launch. Buyback's coming out straight away here from Team Spirit. They look to try and turn. Yatora's in with the jump onto GPK. GPK in for the Ghost Walk, but the golem's dropped down. GPK pushing them back with the deafening blast as he'll try and run, but the Gush is there. Collapse jumps in, finishes him off. Team Spirit make the call to put all in on this team fight, come in with 2 buybacks, and now they look to try and push the high ground whilst Chrono and Cataclysm are down.
Oh, the creeps. Do they have a wave? Oh, it
Radiant
counts.
structures are fortified.
They got credit for, I guess, one of those creeps that had just died out. Oh, wait, no, just kidding. There's an archer. A lonely archer is actually going to enable this push.
And they're jumping in.
Oh,
Nightfall! He's going to get pinned to his own ancient. And they've got the follow, they've got the Gush, they don't have enough damage. Nightfall, he's tanking up and more than happy to turn Yatora. He's dove in for this, he's dead for once. So they can take him down a second time. The stop is out of Nightfall. Look at the Lagoon of the Deathly Block. Push the back. Nightfall's in against 2 more comes. Yatora dying underneath the tier 4s. Under his own play, going to dive in. And Spirit, they'll throw away 2 of their lives, and now they've got to run. VP hot on the chase out of the base. Toronto Tokyo popping the arena, and the Spirit trying to push them back. Nightfall and Mirror going to be chased down here by DM. Mirror. On top of them, we'll get out of there, but still out. A bit of a dive there from Spirit, and it will hurt them. They'll lose up on that opportunity to potentially get the tier 3 in the racks.
I can't see the future, but I think in about 5 minutes we're going to see some 644s being spammed in the chat. That was one of the more YOLO moves I have ever seen. Oh, what? What do you? Wow, Spirit! So much. They could have got a Rax, perhaps. They could have gone back for Roche. I mean, instead they dived tier 4s.
They were just, and it wasn't even close to killing Nightfall. We stunned him. He down to half HP, if even that. Nowhere close to being able to threaten the life of this Void with that dive under the tier 4s. And now Roche, it's all VPs. And in a state of the game where buybacks from both sides kind of on cooldown spells out, it's just meaning everything that we have at the moment where it really did all go wrong for Team Spirit.
The arrow's off. Maybe if that arrow hits, you've got a shot, but even so, a GPK buyback ends that. Like, he's an Invoker. He's going to tornado. That's going to buy you enough time to get the Void leap off.
You make
literally under tier 4s.
Out of no situation.
There's no Ravage.
I think if anything, they were lucky to not lose more heroes here, as they are able to get the 3 of them out. And the big one being the one that hurts the most there, losing Yatora off the back of that jump.
And if you look at the net worth, these feeds.
It slammed right back round,
Yeah, Nightfall suddenly
look at that.
Gets real spooky. This is why they third picked it. Wanted to prevent any scenario. Spirit were able to grab it themselves. Void going to be the late game hero in this critical game 3.
He's huge now. Off the back of that fight, you see, this SMY, Scardy, BKB. You can't jump this, man. You can't jump, and the chances of actually blowing him up, you're just not quite there. You know, your Toro, he needs that AC done. He needs that extra bit of oomph really to be able to have the damage to kill Void. Void's going to be jumping all over the place, and even if you land all the ultimates, he's probably still going to be able to do so. Nightfall, an incredibly hard target to kill at this stage.
Pause. But I just don't know, man. This is getting harder and harder. Soon there'll be a BKB on Invoker. Suddenly, Spirit's complete lack of real BKB piercing table. I know they have the Warlock Golem, but it's really just not the same.
Not going to cut it against a carry that's not, that's the BKB and multiple, jumps. Nightfall's getting out every single time.
The easy shard as well. Love that. One of the better shards, especially against all these big cooldowns of Spirit. Maybe bait something out.
Absolutely.
Pop out to safety.
Great, we'll see what the next move is. It's going to be a lot harder though. Pretty much back to even on the net worth.
Dire's top tower.
They're going to try that. They're coming out with the smoke.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Again, this time they'll be the team making the move into a side that does have all the ults ready. They'll catch DM. Sora's in. DM. They save him in time. The goal's going to be dropped down. DM can't get off the RP. The corner comes out for Nightfall. Carries forward right over the three of them. They take down each other. Corner Tokyo falls one as mirror. Nightfall, he's ready to keep the cleanup going. Overwatch it to a triple kill for him. And they're not done yet. The tornado control for GPK comes out onto Collapse. And Spirit, they really have. They've collapsed completely. Nightfall's ultra kill. And when you have sort of this large of a loss of momentum, I don't know if you're getting it back.
They're feeling themselves now. That was just, again, a punish on Toronto Tokyo. Nightfall playing near flawlessly with Chronosphere's placement. Every time the Mars is caught off guard, he's just chronoed. It's a bait almost. He's looking at your Toro, Oh, there's a Mars I can grab too. All right, Chrono, Cataclysm, GPK. Super simple game for him. Once the fight breaks out, he just chills, waits,
Dire's middle
brings down.
Under attack.
Massive pain and alacrity now. That's a Rax. Still an Aegis as well.
Dire's top
maybe go for more.
Has fallen.
Full MKB on Nightfall.
Under attack.
These massive items just continue to fly out off the back of every successful team fight.
Middle tower has fallen.
And Spirit, what do they got? They're going to have the full roster probably up. Maybe after we'll see how much they can go into the Toro! DM gets the jump immediately, takes your Toro out of the base. That's it down once. Is he going to get the back of it? I don't know. BKB's coming in by Toro instantly dead. A beautiful grab there from DM. And Toro, he's gotten out of the game. 70 seconds. No buyback. They have just they've just destroyed Toro. The last 3 moves ever since that time under the tier 4. Toro's just completely lost it.
Man, it really looked like VP were on the ropes. I'm laughing at them as they smoked to nowhere, it seemed, but credit to them. They make you beat them. And they just played with more tenacity, more aggression. They're the ones fighting, so they're setting up the fight.
They know there's no buyback on the Wraith King. They can play as aggressive as they want. Grabbing Collapse, no Ravage for 20 seconds. He's trying to run, but Nightfall's chasing. Collapse is gone. He does have buyback. Still a lack of Ravage and a lack of a carry. As VP, they'll push on. See how much this first buyback scares them. I don't think it does. They still know Wraith King, 20 seconds.
Chrono in 5.
As they're looking for the end, he's grabbed Mirror. Tries to leap out, but Mirror's gone. Does have buyback available as well. The damage being done, the tier 4s are taken. Nightfall said with the Chrono, he's gonna continue to stay here.
Is under attack.
GPK just chilling in Invis, waiting to Cataclysm. Oh no.
Gotta watch for this Chrono Collapse. He's in with the Ravage. They're gonna fall. They've got the arena, the control onto the Magus. The Chrono's gonna get dropped down onto the back line. They find the 2 squishies, both Mirror and Mapushko keep this forward off the race. Cole chases on. The RP comes out. And they're all going downhill. GG is called. VP will continue to hold on to the title here at the top of the league as they take down Team Spirit here in this game 3.
And they pop off too. DM, you deserve that one. He's excited. That was a hell of a performance. Every time he died a team fight, he had a immediate buyback. And I was like, yo, chill, bro. Chill. I've been here before, all right? We're going to go undefeated once again. It looks like 6-0 now, VP. Near guaranteed first place yet again in DPC Season 2. And crushing Spirit's dreams of a potential automatic TI berth without performing at the major that they will still attend.
Sure, but I mean, this game as well, VP, you know, been able to pull it back as well from a mid game that looked like it was all getting lost. It was falling apart. But then sort of the players came in, some mistakes from Spirit, and you know VP, as we've come to see many times, it's just a team you can't make mistakes against. You make a mistake at VP, they're laughing all the way to the victory.
I'm looking at your graph, Owen. 97% win probability.
Yeah, it was there for them. But
how does that change when you dive tier 4s and then give up critical second Roshan?